dear God.
Uh-oh.
Does this mean we're supposed to say something?
Yeah, now we're making huge mistakes. All right, guys, welcome everybody to the Astro Pub, where we have our Gamescom special reaction with our panel of our table of Star Citizen content creators. For those of you guys who don't know what the Captain's Table is, the Captain's Table is a free-form discussion that we talk about all things Star Citizen weekly. Bring on a different panel of guests every week. Some of you may see people like Board Gamer, or Grey-Headed Gamer, or Feather, or Flint, or Hasaga, or Grakes. All of them will show up multiple times. They may not show up at the same time all the time. They may show up at different times, but they'll never be the same every week.
Why did you sound disappointed in my name?
I have to be disappointed in you, because if I'm not disappointed in you, then you won't keep bringing us interesting, fun adventures and bad rolls to try to kill us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the challenge. Maybe try to kill Carrick. Maybe you can find another way to kill him.
Yeah, maybe we can do that. Just get rid of him.
All right, so let's go around the table, starting with the wonderful and always huggable Grakes above me. Who are you? Where can they find you?
I'm Grakes. I'm primarily a streamer on twitch.tv/Grakes, Grakees, as well as finding me voicing in Bulkheads and hopefully in the future other things. I have some auditions.
And then let's go counterclockwise. Let's go to Flint.
Oh.
Ooh,
The hamburger.
The hamburger, indeed. Got my mouth full of food. Thanks for that.
No problem.
But no, so I am Captain_Flint on Twitch, on Twitter, Captain Flint TV, I think, Twitch Captain Flint, on Facebook, Captain Flint TV, on YouTube, whatever. I'm everywhere, mostly on Twitch.
Awesome. And below him, we have the ever hard to pronounce Hasaga, hashtag.
Sure.
Who are you? Where can I find you?
I'm not really sure.
Good answer.
I'm on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on YouTube, but a small channel at Mr. Haskaha Land is the username there, or the URL. Mostly on Flickr, I guess, is how most everybody knows me. But I hang out in Reddit, on Twitter, everywhere else. But yeah, Flickr only, basically.
Excellent. Then next to him, we have the ever lovable Tim, Board Gamer. Who are you? Where can they find you?
I'm Board Gamer. You may have seen me in such videos made by Board Gamer UK on the YouTubes and on some podcasts. Just go over there to the social medias or the YouTubes and find me. I do Star Citizen stuff pretty much exclusively. If
you're looking for something, a YouTube channel does a lot of coverage of recent news and stuff like that, definitely check out Board Gamer. He also has a good, for you guys who are new, he has great like intro videos teaching you how to buy the game, how to get involved in free flight, how to first basic moves, getting into the game kind of stuff. So then we have the ever young, forever young. I want to be forever young, Grey-Headed Gamer. Who are you? Where?
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Yes, I am Grey-Headed Gamer, and I do things.
Twitch.
I don't do much of anything actually here lately. A Grey-Headed Gamer with an A platforms, and I might mainly just get drunk and make a fool of myself. Woo! So join me and laugh at me.
Live in the dream.
It's fine.
Live in the dream.
I will make you feel more important. I promise.
Then we have the technical-minded man who knows more about software than I ever will be able to know, Fiendish Feather. Who are you? What do you do? And what and who is your daddy and what does he do?
Well, my daddy does. I play in CryEngine, and that's about all I do. I think I have more time logged in Steam in CryEngine than I do all of my other games combined, if you don't count Kerbal Space Program. You can't count Kerbal Space Program.
You can't count Kerbal Space Program because the baseline hours for Kerbal Space Program is like 400.
Yeah.
Tell them the hours. You gave me the hours this morning. What was it?
I can check right now. I have 1,969 hours logged in CryEngine on Steam. That's not counting What's up?
So that's not counting offline or anything else like that.
That's not counting any time I've played with 5 or 3.8 or any of the ones that don't go through the engine as a service, as they call it, through Steam, which you can't get anymore because they made it free, but I still have to pay for it because I need the old version. I make CryEngine Star Citizen videos.
A lot of them.
A lot of
Bulkheads.tv.
them. Mainly, yes, plug the Bulkheads. The not so popular, ever so hated Star Citizen Machinima series Bulkheads.
Mm-hmm. We're horrible. Everyone hates us. We're gonna go eat some.
Oh, you're
boobs.
so hated.
Come watch it and find out well we're hated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alrighty. So, I think that's it. There's just nothing else to talk about, right? We got nothing else this week.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing really
Bye, guys.
happened important this week, so
Nothing.
Right.
So,
Next weekend, guys. See
how
ya.
how many times have you guys seen the presentation video?
6.
6. It's
I've watched it 6
You
full
do
times.
realize it's been only 26 hours since it
And
actually aired,
It's an hour long.
and it's an hour long.
Yep.
Yeah, we watched it 4 times on stream. We watched it live, then 3 times afterwards, and they were still asking for more. It was. And to be fair, if we're
watched it.
discussing our reactions, my reaction, discussions can be very short. It was basically for an hour.
Yep.
Worst streamer
100%.
ever. I just couldn't talk.
His reaction videos are terrible.
I've watched
At least
the
they're genuine.
gameplay of 3.0 a lot, especially the cleaned up version. But the actual presentation only once. But the
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the gameplay. Screw the rest.
Yeah, I mean the other stuff is interesting, but it's stuff that you need once. Like, oh look, Star Marine. Oh look, this is the new ships are coming out. We're gonna see that in like a couple of months anyways. So,
Yeah.
but 3.0.
A lot of that was for new people anyway. He was going over stuff we already knew.
Yes.
Most of us,
Yeah.
most
And
of
that-
us who've been following it for a while knew already.
Yeah, and it was very rushed. Everyone in Discord when we were chatting, they're like, "Wow, he's really rushing this. He's going by so fast. Why is he rushing this?" And then we found out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying to
Well,
he's going
I found
through
trying to keep
because there's something
Starmarine
massive.
under the table because it's like, oh, it's late, it's super late. Move on to
Yeah.
the next thing.
Well, and I think like moving on as quickly as possible because just acknowledging that it's a thing and that they're trying to do it, and they did talk a little bit about 2.6, and I think the cool thing about 2.6 is that they've been emphasizing, which I've been theorizing for a while, is that 2.6 is an Arena Commander and Star Marine update. It's not really that much to do with the PU. It has more to do with going back and actually working on Star Marine and Arena Commander, which needs to be done. I mean, and this is probably a good time to do it. I think you have either this time or when beta comes out to start working on that because. Those could easily be gateway drugs. CIG could easily turn those into like free to play experiences
Yes,
or
exactly.
or cheap modules like pay $5 for both of them and you'd be able to play them so that you go, oh, I'm going to play this a little bit. Oh, it's kind of fun. Oh, there's an MMO based on this. Oh, there's a single player campaign based on this.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
And
And
liking the free to play idea as well for those 2 modules.
That's really,
great
that's
idea.
actually a really, I never even thought of That's a really good idea. Give
That's-
somebody a Hornet or like we did back in the day, the Hornet, the 300i, and the Aurora, give them the 3 ships. Here's Arena Commander.
we
Enjoy.
already have a free to play model in there anyways with the Rex system. The Rex system already
Right.
exists and it already works just like a normal free to play model in like
The-
a War Thunder or anything else like that.
The only concern that I can see with going to a free-to-play model for the Arena Commander demo is they would be downloading the entire client for one little thing. Not really a big deal, but it's still cost prohibitive in terms of them paying for bandwidth.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon, but I think it's something they could do once they do things
As soon
like
as
Delta
they've got-
patching.
Yeah, as soon as Delta patching's out,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Oh, that's
they-
true, because you could say, hey, download half the client. Okay, here's
Yeah.
the rest of the client.
And you
Yeah.
don't want a free-to-play game like that until there is a minimum viable product for them to sell.
Yeah, you
That's
want
true.
something like
Gateway
3.0
drug.
or Squadron 42 to be out once you do that. So
That's
Yes.
true.
I don't like us describing it as a gateway drug, I've just realised.
I do.
Yes. Arena Commander is the pot of the game world.
It will be
It mostly
legalised.
sounds like racing updates they're doing for Arena Commander.
Yeah.
So giving us the asteroid. I assume they're taking the Grimhex area and just pulling that out and putting that into Arena Commander as a racing map.
That's what I
think
would-
it might.
Assume.
I think it might also be them adding it into the mini PU because that's what they want, isn't it? They want that racing kiosk there.
They
to go
do.
around.
They
That might
they
not
want
be
that to open, yeah. But let's take a second and think exactly what would happen. It would
That would
be
be
like
terrible.
racing across freaking Tatooine, with those guys with the foamy
The
hats.
Tuscan Raiders.
You couldn't
Surprise!
get a race.
Starfarer appears middle racetrack.
Yeah, well, no, and I think that's part of what they're going to plan on doing is like essentially the racetrack will essentially be an arena commander track where no one else can interact with it, but you can still observe it with the in-game camera tools. Which,
That'll be
thank
really cool.
God, CIG, thank you for giving us better camera tools for arena commanders. That's one of the things they wanted to do. So, screenshots, videos, everything, so much better.
Can anyone else hear panpipes?
Yes.
Background.
Is that me?
I did hear them. I just don't know where it was from.
I think that was
thought
me. I have
thought it was
weird
gonna be a
neighbors,
goat
yo.
boy run
I have
by.
weird neighbors, yo. Like they'll play like
Get some music on the go.
they'll play like obscure rap metal bands, and then they'll play like Frank Sinatra, and then they'll play like
Pan
Celtic
flute.
greats. Yeah, like pan flutes. I have some weird fucking neighbors, yo. It's just keeping it lively.
Oh, we didn't have D&D today. You don't. Oh, that's why you needed your fix.
I need my fix. I need my flute fix, and I wanted to just
roll me a D20 real quick. Get it out of your system.
Okay. 11. Ah.
You lost your saving throw. Damn it.
All right.
The stream starts buffering.
Oh God, what is so I would like to take this time to congratulate the streamers who are at Gamescom they're doing a marvelous job.
They are. Fuckers.
Way to go. Thanks so much for helping us out. In all reality, they did an amazing job, and you know, if anything, we're just jealous.
I hurt them until they say things like, put every emote that you have from each streamer in chat. And then it's every mod just going, fuck!
Grokis is a
I'm
mod
not
at
jealous
Unset.
of them at all. They've had they're having time out from them streaming normally.
True.
So that's massive damage to their income. They're at an event where they're required to get up at a certain time, have to finish at a certain time, like proper day jobs, where they can't drink properly or swear during. Do you know how hard it is to not swear? Especially when someone's told you don't swear.
When you're playing an alpha.
You ain't fucking joking.
Yeah.
I fucking know.
Fucking right, man. Fucking right.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Roberts all the time, and people that you really want to go and touch, like Brian Chambers' beard, and you can't because you're there at the computer having to stream. You can't turn that off. You can't.
I would stop.
Yeah, and have a drink. Done.
I would stop and just rub his beard.
I'd go for the hair.
Really hard, man, and I'm not envious of them at all. The other thing is, I want to make content on that sort of thing. Being at those events is really hard to make content unless you're vlogging everything. Even then, you're going to be hungover. You're going to be exhausted.
Tired, yeah.
Think of the fact. I mean, they're jet lagged. They've got loads of fans around them. Some of them haven't been where they're actually surrounded by fans before, and all of those people are like there for them when they're at those after parties. They're going to be mobbed. It's going to be hell.
Yeah, no, and the one advantage of those kind of things is that they do get a lot of exposure, though, because I mean, Star Citizen is like one of the top 15 streamed games right now on Twitch. When they
number
go
one.
live, it was number one for the
presentation.
but.
Nice.
And then, of course, they were able to have a sit down with Chris Roberts yesterday, so it was pretty cool. But no, they've been doing a fantastic job, and they have been sacrificing. They did sacrifice a lot to do this, and the fantastic job they've been doing is specifically been able to keep their cool and be able to do things like go through the hangar, go through ArtCore, go through the PU carefully, and like talk about the new stations, and still being entertaining about the whole thing. So
Yeah. Every one of them has a great ability to transfer information in a way that's interesting and that's easily understood, and that's critical for someone in that situation. Also, pacing, because they had to. They're at the amount. We know how much content there is in current version.
Yep.
Stretching that out and doing a decent chunk on each part and making it interesting for an extended period of time for 8 hours per day for a week it's a lot.
to
It
be
is
fair,
Yes.
screaming at you for doing certain things that you've been told, hey, we need to show this off for all the new people.
yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And I will say that like there are They did pick good people because people like Captain Richard could literally stream the hangar for like a week straight and still make it interesting.
He's so good at that. So they've all got very extreme different strengths, and Captain Richards is an amazing presenter of just stuff.
And Twerk is a beautiful crossdresser.
He is the male and female model of Star Citizen. The basic male and female model are of Twerk 17.
Yes.
We confirmed this yesterday. We've confirmed this every time he's come onto the stream. So, and I've been spreading that lie throughout all of the Star Citizen universe. So please continue to spread it. Tell it. Yeah, Twerk 17. He's a man of many talents and genders.
You know, something that was really, really amazing was the very first day, very first stream, Richard and Twerk. A lot of people were getting mad, because he was doing the hangar thing. And a lot of us didn't realize they have to do this for all the new people and all. But I sat there and watched the entire thing. Because Richard, he is fantastically entertaining to watch. And you know what? He really was refined on this. He didn't do his normal fart jokes and like he normally, which is the stuff I love. He was so much more professional, and I have to give him kudos for that. It was amazing to see him, really, really shine.
Tone it down slightly with the sexual innuendos.
Yes.
Wait, slightly. Holy crap! It was toned down. I was surprised he's capable of that. I thought his head would explode.
I'm unable to not swear. I mean, I just swear all the time. It's just, it's almost like Tourette's for me. I just swear. I can't help it. In front of anyone.
All right. But good on them, and I would like to congratulate Disco Orlando on being able to be a good presenter in front of most other people.
Nope.
Disco show.
The disco show.
But they have such good chemistry. They've been doing pretty well with all that kind of stuff. I will say that the presentation on Friday did point out two things that I think are key going forward. Is one, CIG's growing up. It's no longer a little we fucked up every 5 minutes show. It's no longer this is bullshit show. It's now actually more professional. Like they actually had someone who could be the camera for the freelancer, while the guy who's flying the freelancer could focus on flying. And they had minimal buzz.
Saved the day. That guy Chris, who didn't have any ammo either, saving the day with his freelancer.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, he made the same decision that all of us would make. I'm out of ammo. Take care of this person. I'm not getting ammo.
Okay.
Boom.
He didn't have any ammo either.
He didn't have a gun.
Yeah, he didn't even have a gun. They had no ammo between them. Just a freelancer, which is.
But you know what that does?
Well, they had the dragonfly.
100% off the cuff. It was 100% playing, not on rails, not a video. It was them playing.
It was QA doing QA. That's what they were doing.
Yet there's still someone on the internet that said it was it was recorded, it was fake. That wasn't playing. That wasn't really playing. No.
I'm going to be the devil's advocate here and say it was heavily scripted.
It was. No, it was.
Oh no, totally scripted. Yeah. They knew where they were going to go and flying and stuff, but it was being played live.
So here's a distinction. There's scripted and there's scripted. One is you had a gameplay and a plan and you run through the plan. The other one is actual scripting automation to make it all happen.
Okay,
and sometimes there's some argument there. It definitely wasn't scripted in terms of it wasn't pre-programmed, pre-generated, pre-recorded, but it was scripted as in they knew what they wanted to do through the game.
Well, they couldn't have NPCs doing a lot of the jobs.
No.
I wouldn't say pre-recorded, but I would go with scripted as in the idea of it was a very linear path. I bet you if he would have walked into any of the stores on the planet, they would have been, white box or something. But that's unfinished assets. I think the things that I want to know that were quote unquote scripted is whether or not that Starfare was a prefab, whether or not the Moby Glass was an actual PIP video or pre-recorded, and I'm assuming it was pre-recorded because CryEngine out of the box, now granted they've rewritten CryEngine pretty much, out of the box doesn't support picture-in-picture. And the other one was most of the ground combat there toward the end. Now, I know there was no AI in any of that. It was all a bunch of people playing, which makes sense because it's easier to have a person control, say, hey, shoot at this guy, but don't hit him, as opposed to making it AI with terrible aim.
So that picture-in-picture stuff, when he goes towards in the freelancer to land, there's obviously the picture-in-picture there at the bottom right as well.
That was done for the stream.
Now, there's a difference between like okay, it's actually putting a camera in the engine and rendering that scene with him talking live, as opposed to CryEngine does flash videos for the HUDs, as opposed to putting a camera rendering out a flash video of him talking.
Yeah,
you know,
so like
adding
if there was someone
for audio, and
if there was what he's saying is that it was that an actual NPC doing that,
Or was
and
that a pre-rendered video asset?
or was it a video asset that was already scripted and recorded, and it would just show up?
I'm
on your
sure
HUD?
pre-recorded for the video.
I'm pretty certain. The reason why I'm pretty certain is simply for gameplay. If you had that guy actually sat in an inn, and another person's doing the quest, and they sit down next to him, and suddenly he stops his quest dialogue, pulls up his thing, and starts responding to something else, that would be a little bit messed up. So just for practicality.
I'm actually looking forward to when we play the game, if we actually sit down at a bar table and talk to a guy like that. Like not even the movie glass picture, but you sit at the bar table and you talk to a person like that. 2 questions. 1, can you see other people in the background? So can somebody go around and do the chicken emote or the smell emote right next to your table? And 2, can they hear that person talking and maybe mosey in on your mission?
Possibly. I mean, I'm almost.
hope so.
I'm 100% sure what they were showing us was a demo of what they were looking for just like a lot of presentations with like E3 and that kind of stuff. It was a work in progress demonstration of what they're looking to do.
It's a vertical slice.
A vertical slice, yes. And so what that was, I'm sure there's going to be random different missions, because they've talked about this before, where they're going to have like maybe 50 canned missions.
Yep.
That'll be of specific types that he will run. Like that whole some dumbass hauler got whatever, went off track. That you'll probably hear that 400 times, but each mission will be different. Sometimes he'll send you down to the pirate. Sometimes he'll say there's nothing more. Sometimes he might say, by the way, we got another thing on the spectrum. It's over here, or something like that. Like there's probably a bunch of, and that's how they've described the mission system for a while.
Right.
So more than likely, you'll probably be able to hear him. But I'm sure he's going to be one of like maybe 7 NPCs. That's just a number I pulled right out of my ass. Confirmed, by the way. CIG confirmed. 7 NPCs.
7, exactly 7, no more, no less.
In the whole game, it's just 7 NPCs.
7.
Yeah.
So
2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks.
my concern is the scalability of that. It was awesome. You had a fully motion captured, voice acted actor that you can interact with, who's in a specific place on a base, and that's a cool mission line. But like, how many of those can they actually build to flesh out the universe?
And what happens when 9 people accept that mission?
Quest or
Chris talked about that today.
Did he?
Yeah, when he was on stream with Baron and Richard, he talked about those. And essentially, the TLDR, the way to boil down essentially, Chris speak on the situation is they're theme park missions. For anyone that does MMOs, you know what a theme park experience is. They're the upper echelon of any sort of like gaming experience in that. They're sort of the top level things.
Like a tier 1 showcase. And
it's
tier 2,
sort of like tier 1 mission, then tier 2 might have some audio dialogue, maybe an NPC situation. A lot of it's going to be, hey, here's your text-based info, go do stuff. So they're going to have different ways to scale it, but that's like top tier. Those are going to be quite a bit more limited. Sort of, I think Chris said like one of those per landing area essentially is what it comes down to for that level of stuff.
That makes sense.
It's like one of those per area.
I mean,
there's sort of like mini story arcs,
but they're not going to be
in-depth missions though. With audio, if you do the audio and some guy wearing a helmet, you can get a similar kind of feel for the story. I mean, that was great because you were sitting with the guy and you felt invested in what was going on. But you could do pretty damn cool missions just with audio files, even just with text. If you do it right.
Look at the audio. You have to remember voice recording for that many missions, so there's a lot of voice acting involved in paying those actors too.
You don't need that many you only need a small percentage of them to go in with text missions and the other missions to make it feel a lot more alive.
Yeah, that would be that next tier down.
The difference, I'm going to use Elite Dangerous as an example. I haven't played since the Engineers update, so caveat there. I don't know if anyone else has. But one of the things that is very hurtful, in my opinion, to Elite is you land at a station, you get a mission, it's all text. Even if it was as simple as a generic character saying, hey, I need this done. Can you do this? That would add such a level of I hate to use the word, but immersion to the game that they could do. I think Chris would call it a tier 2 or a tier 3 character. Even if it's just, hey, I'm having a problem with some pirates. Can you deal with this? And then it gives you a text description saying, hey, I need you to go to Delamar, or I need you to go to Crusader, or whatever. That would add so much. That's more, it's as good. In my opinion, it might even be better than sitting down at a table with the character and having him talk to me and, type on his mobiGlass for 10 seconds, because I can get the mission and I can get going instead of, I need to land and I need to go into the bar and talk to the guy. And, that's really cool for the first or second or third time. But at some point, it's going to become a part of the quote unquote a part of the grind, and you're not going to want to spend 10 minutes landing to walk into a station you've already seen 30 or 40 times to get a mission. You want to get the mission and you want to go get your credits so you can go buy your Idris or your Javelin or your Constellation Phoenix or the next ship that you want to get.
Now, I think that one of the things that's going to be unique about that is that because of how the mission system works, is that we're not going to get the videos like that. We'll get it. We'll have him maybe come and give you, but there may be 7 or 8 or 10 different starters. So every time you do a mission, it won't be the exact same mission because it's generated on the fly by the mission system, by the subsumption. So,
right.
Like what we just saw was definitely a scripted, pre-record, or like pre-set up kind of situation, and more than likely that Starfarer is not dynamically destroyed. Now, I don't doubt that something like that is already existing or is will soon exist in terms of like having multiple parts of ships, because you're going to have to be able to do it for salvage. Like you're going to have to.
I would expect that. I would expect there to be, for a mission that's, hey, go get the black box, I would expect that ship to be a prefab that's completely destroyed beyond repair. But I would also be able to expect to come across some, maybe procedurally generated ones that I can repair. That's outside of a mission. It's just a. Look, there's an anomaly. The words are hard.
And he hasn't even been drinking.
Well, actually, I've had like 4 drinks, so
that's hard.
Words are hard. But you come across a wrecked ship, I expect that one to be procedurally damaged. It maybe has a hole here, a hole there, and one of the engines is damaged but not destroyed that you can fix. It's obvious that Starfarer that they went to in the demo was never going to fly again. It was sheared in half.
Mm-hmm. And I am totally okay with that like DayZ style approach where you have a bunch of wrecks which are just like nope, ain't never gonna get this thing running again, and then a couple they're like, whoa, I can fix this kind of situation.
Oh, it only needs a tire and an engine. I can fix this.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to be able to find Dragonflies and Ursa rovers as frequently as they did in the demo?
Oh no.
I highly doubt it, because that's yeah. I don't
that's
think
false
so.
advertising then. Fake.
Concern.
2 weeks.
Well, we do have a saturation already. So take, for example, firearms like ballistic rifles, laser rifles, whatever. You could save up a bunch of money currently in the current alpha to buy one, or you can just fly to Yellow, find the wreck, and pick one up. Yep. Having them that easily accessible is a massive detriment to the economy, because why buy when you can just go pick one up?
They only do that because they want people to use it. But
absolutely. I'm just using that as an example. If it's too prevalent to be able to just go find a spaceship, why would you save up money and get one? So it has to be rare enough that it's a huge thing when you find one, and then the actual cost of repairing it should be pretty high.
But not as high as buying.
Yeah, it should be like that. It's like pulling a classic muscle car out of a junkyard and fixing it up, or like an old a motorcycle and fixing it up it's going to be expensive, but you're doing it because it's going to look fucking awesome at the end of the day. You're going to have this awesome
you're
thing.
talking my language.
Yeah.
I'm curious if anyone had any issues with the gameplay, like things that they
did.
Oh, that's annoying.
I
did.
a few.
My issue was I couldn't play it.
My biggest issue was the FPS. Like, honestly, armor should not be that damn effective. Like, the dude, at one point, he unloaded an entire clip of ballistic ammo into his face, and he didn't die.
See...
But
No,
here's the thing.
Face and chest.
And he didn't die.
That's Health System 2.0.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a feature.
The thing
Two
is,
things.
the thing is that
it likely wasn't a new FPS system in there, because
No, it wasn't.
because that's in a separate stream. Two, armor has to be pretty effective because it's so expensive.
Yeah,
And we don't have shields.
There has to be some downside as well. Like, and this is what I was going to say.
The downside
caveat.
of the heavy armor. The downside of that heavy armor was that you can't shoot a shotgun for shit.
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently.
well, okay. In his defense, I'm sure he was to not hit the guy at
Yeah,
all.
he was told don't
Yeah.
hit him.
That was impressive in itself with a shotgun to not hit him with any of the rounds. It was
And
some
I'd
Pulp Fiction shit,
also wagered that the character was invincible.
Invincible.
I'd wagered that they made him invincible
He got shot.
to make it, no accidental deaths, and that
Yes.
that ruins the demo.
The character damage
Because it
icon
happened last
was-
Gamescom. It happened last
Yeah.
Gamescom.
damage.
And we all know how Chris can be. Like for example, when the star map came up in the Freelancer, he doesn't like the current iteration. Whether or not it's finished is irrelevant. He hates it because they're like, it's work in progress, work in progress, work in progress.
Yeah.
If he doesn't like something, he does one of two things. He rushes past it like there's nothing, or he screams it's work in progress.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the thing about the FPS that there's a couple things that are caveat which you don't know, which is we don't know how easy it is to maneuver in those heavy armors, and I think that's
true.
That's an easy way to change around. It's like if you're a ZRG in a Starfarer, you're probably flopping around like an idiot. Like you're just like you push. I'm going forward, and it takes like 5 seconds for your damn like we're gonna go forward because you build up enough momentum to do so.
And blinders.
And blinders, yeah. So those need to be some serious like it's kind of like a Freelancer. If you get in front of one, you're gonna die. But if you get in front of some dude with a heavy armor and lots of weapons, you're probably gonna get wrecked. But
I don't think we can really judge it until 2.6. Right?
that's true. And
Yes.
We can give it a damn good go, though.
God damn it, CRG! No, but
Hey,
it's
a lot
one
of people
those,
on the internet judge the damn game already without any information, so we can do it too.
So what you're saying is to fight a guy in heavy armor, we just need to circle strafe and use ballistics?
Yes.
I would say run him over with a Starfarer, but
Or hit him, or you could just shoot him with the Freelancer,
Freelancer,
Mark III guns, whatever, rail guns. Hit him with a railgun. He'll be
That
fine.
was so cool. I mean, having that body slide across, that was why I was like, that's pretty cool.
The best part was it happened completely off screen, so it was like
Yep.
you may have to get out and deal with them. Boom.
I've always loved
That was
the
beautiful.
ragdoll physics of CryEngine.
I think that was on a
pretty good.
gamepad as well. That's pretty impressive.
Hey, Paul, why don't we go all around and each person pick just one thing that stood out to them?
Sure, that's good. That's
Good
good.
or bad?
Video.
Good or bad?
One good and one bad thing. Let's start with board since we've started with Grokes last time.
Yes.
So mine was the unsung hero, is my favourite point, which was the Urza rover. How cool was that? Obviously, it can't get over any obstacles that are more than
The derp rover. The dope rover. The derp rover.
is this scripted? Go around. Okay, Chris. But when he gets out of that Urza rover, there's a few frames inside where you see the inside of the rover. You can see that it's got a room for 6 people. It's got a turret on top, and it looks pretty cool. And I've never really thought about ground combat in the way that I did until I saw it in that presentation. I was like, oh, the ground combat's actually going to be pretty impressive and going to be quite important. I always think of it as a spaceship game with a little bit of running around Korea. Rather than running around on the ground. So, I mean, that was pretty exciting for me. And the thing I didn't like the most, or that annoyed me the most, it's probably that shotgun work. That really annoyed me. I mean, that was just sort of like, I suppose it was the frame rate disparity between getting out of the ship when they're on planet looking at something, which is like 15 frames a second, and then getting back into the ship, the local physics grid, and it's 144 frames a second again. I suppose that was the most annoying point, though.
The little lag hitching when you try and jump into the ships.
It wasn't lag hitch. It was literally when he's out of the ship, looking towards the Freelancer, when they're trying to get back in. The frame rate is incredibly low, but that's because it's strained. He's looking towards the landing zone, behind it, which is obviously being rendered behind the Freelancer, and it's literally the worst view he could have looked at. And he's getting very few frames, but as soon as he gets in the ship and the door starts to close, his frame rate goes.
Yeah,
just it's yeah.
All right, so let's go clockwise this time, and Hashaga, hashtag.
Haas. So I guess I'll start with the thing that bugged me the most. It was a minor detail. It was the first time they had the guy on foot was inside the station, and they had the freelancer outside looking in the window, and Chris was intentionally lining them up to show people like it's all in one instance. You can see both.
You can see each other. Multiplayer.
Yeah, but when they zoomed in
you
enough
can see
from
each
the,
other. Sorry.
when they zoomed in from the Lancer to the guy inside, he turns, but he's like he's not moving his feet. He's just spinning in one spot.
Yeah.
Like the end. It was just a minor detail, and they do that in game now, so it's not a big deal. But the favorite part was I've been a backer for a while, and I go into these presentations expecting nothing, given what's like. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good. Sometimes I show a lot, sometimes I show nothing. So I have no expectations. I know we were all hoping to see planetary landing and things like that. But what amazed me was that it was all there in one gameplay. Like I did not expect that. I expected like a chunk of an example here, a demo here, but it was just all one big amazing demo. That blew me away. I had no idea that was going to happen.
I agree. I don't think any of us really excited about that. Flint.
So yeah, I'm massive cop out. I can't give you my favorite because everything is each individually my favorite. I'm gonna avoid, because I'm sure everyone else is gonna call out most of the things I would say as my best bits. I'm gonna call out the subtle things I saw that were awesome, like the new HUD in the Freelancer. That was
that
pretty
fact that
special.
you could see the pilots from the co-pilot seat.
Yeah.
Now you couldn't see it when you weren't in the co-pilot seat, but you could see it when you were sitting down.
Yeah, but taken away from the hover HUD thing on your helmet and put it into the cockpit. So now I feel like I can go in, I can take my suit off, drop it into the whatever, my EVA suit locker, sit there in my civvies with my mug of whatever passes for coffee in the verse, and still be able to fly the ship. So I like that a lot. And of course, the Dragonfly crate.
That's pretty cool.
Just hitting the button, pop. Oh look, there's a Dragonfly. And then finally, the little mini grabby hands. Although that ties into the worst part is I wish they'd done more of that, because Chris said that the guy was going to come out and pick it up and take it in. I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see that he was moving the box.
Fuck you.
And that was synchronized.
He did like a mic drop almost with that. Just like,
So-
you want to drop it?
Something tells me that didn't work, and that's why they stopped after the incident with the Dragonfly disappearing.
Yeah.
And whether or not Chris admitted it, he was probably furious after that happened. They probably didn't want to risk that again.
No,
or something else bad
true.
would happen, bringing a quote unquote rigid body object into a different physics rate. It'd probably freak out.
Yeah, but I just wanted to see, like, he'd pick up the crate, he'd put the crate on the floor, and then have someone else come up and pick up that same crate. Because right now, anything we shove around, like the bennies or the whoever we're shoving around in the verse, they're not synchronized.
No,
Network.
not
I
at
want
all.
to see network synchronized cargo boxes.
Yep.
I would have liked to have seen. So.
That cargo box in the Freelancer that you were saying about with the Dragonfly in it, apparently that got added on Monday because they were like, the Dragonfly was just in there, and then one of the guys said, let's put it in a box. So he just went, yeah, okay, and they did something and it worked.
That sounds pretty proper for game development. Last minute.
Yeah.
All right, Grokis. Good and bads.
Now that Flint's already told all the good stuff.
So far, so no, he didn't. He missed one of the good things.
I deliberately avoided
Popsicles.
most of the awesome stuff for you guys.
The meat popsicles.
Very true.
Okay, that was actually pretty good.
Not only were they, I mean, it was sort of like, it was one of those dark moments, like, oh, they have frozen dead bodies here. That's a little dark, but just the ragdoll physics on them to the point where one of them is just like, push him out of the way, and you do, and it's just.
But he was also saying it was the face of one of his devs.
Yeah.
IT department. Yeah. The IT
They
department.
showed him on stream today. It was, they had him come up on screen. Yeah.
I had my kids watching, like they were just standing next to me watching, and all of a sudden he bumped into the first dead guy, and my kid's like, "What is that?" I was like, "Don't worry about it."
You're sleeping.
You're sleeping.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to use my grabby hands on you ladies right now.
Wow. I know that voice.
Surprise, surprise, motherfuckers!
And
Wild
Geo
Terry
gets muted.
appears.
Yeah, I had to
Geo crash.
We'll bring it back on in a
He
second.
showed up at channel, or if someone had a soundboard.
The Geo soundboard just laying around.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been surprised with the Geo soundboard.
We'll finish this up and then we'll get to Geo. We'll get back to Geo.
Anyway, I just want to counter the Grackies. I actually didn't like that the frozen bodies had ragdoll. To me, they should have been completely rigid, being frozen. And then when they bump them, if they bump into something, I want to see like bits break off.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
the breaking
oh,
off would be
snap
good.
off.
Doing the
But do we really know how a body works once it's been exposed to complete vacuum? Like what it's like in vacuum after that?
It will ultimately freeze completely because
Because of the temperature,
will dissipate.
Yeah.
So it will become completely frozen.
It'll become it's
Maybe they were
desiccated.
fresh frozen.
It desiccates the corpse because it's completely
Yeah.
removable.
All moisture will leave.
I don't think they
and then
should
just-
shatter unless you like shoot bits off. I suppose. Yeah. Okay.
If you bump it and it bumps into something,
it should,
like
it should
crack
move
it,
as a
it'll
rigid
fall
body
off.
instead of a ragdoll.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we're giving them better ideas
I think I
now
can
for
agree with
frozen
you on that
bodies.
though. But I thought I saw some dampening on the limbs. Like instead of a ragdoll,
Oh,
like
yeah,
I go to CryEngine, say zero,
Yeah, they
put a
weren't
body in there.
full
It's like
moving. They were like the wrist flapped a little bit and the body kind of twisted a little, but it wasn't like the full ragdolls where everything's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was a zero-G ragdoll in their new zero-G system. I don't think they had extra rigidness, which they should have. I think that's a
no,
good idea. For them
and
to
that's going to be a real ball buster for them to program in. It's going to be fun for them.
But yeah, that and the fact that the box opening could actually affect
Everything around
the
it.
zero G there. So they popped that open. Apparently, it was a new thing they just added in. It's like opens up, affects that guy, shoots him out of the way. Hop on the dragonfly.
Those
Yay!
physics are very expensive to calculate too. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see those at all because that gets expensive in CPU cycles.
I don't mind if they fake some stuff like that with some other stuff. I mean, I'm up for the action. I don't need everything to be supremely detailed and for stuff to be like, oh, it needs to be 100% physics calculated to see how this guy spins around after he's dead. I don't really care. He's dead.
Yeah.
He's pretty dead.
And if you have to cull his body because the server load is too much on that's okay. Who cares? It's a body.
As long as whatever they choose to do with the body amuses us so that we can shoot it and make it spin around or do stupid things like that. You know we're going to do stuff like that when we're bored. We're going to get out of the way, body, pop. Oh, look, he's spinning like a top. Pop,
I know
pop, pop, pop,
there's
pop.
missions where people are recording what you're doing, like the actual mission giver, and he goes, yeah, I'm going to give you a little bit less money because you're a crazy monster for shooting all the bodies.
You shot my dead friends!
The cargo
I'm
bay.
going to be getting negative money every mission.
I'm gonna be paying them. It sucks.
But for me, it's hard to say. For the negative, it's hard for me to say because I went into watching the presentation a little bit differently because I watched it in the VOD afterwards because I was too busy during the actual presentation going ban, timeout, ban, 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 timeout, 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 ban, timeout. So I had that in my brain from the first run through, so nothing could negative me on it. So the whole thing was just, yay, breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I don't watch that. Didn't watch that VOD playback with the chat on. I turned that chat off real quick.
I just went full screen. Just
Yeah.
The
just-
new
let's
VOD
just-
doesn't have interlacing
Let's just sit back and
issues.
watch this and go, ooh, oh,
Yes.
oh,
The
oh.
new YouTube video is good.
Yeah, it doesn't have any interlacing issues or anything like that. It's very high quality.
Looks
Yeah,
great.
that was the streaming portion of it, which
Yep.
happens in live streaming.
Yep.
Every
how
live stream
how
will
about
be
you,
doing
Feather?
I have two favorite parts, but they're kind of related. My favorite parts were the amazing, 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 amazing sexy lighting on Delamar, and the amazing attention to detail on the Starfarer wreck. Whether or not it was a prefab, I don't care at that point, because watching all the bits and the sparks and the shiny little lights, that amazed me. That was my favorite part, was when he was EVing around the dialect Starfarer, because all it makes me think of is, oh, I can't wait to EVA around the dialect Idris or Bengal or Starfarer or another big ship.
That engine on the right, that was a beautiful thing. Just
Yes, it
like,
was. my least favorite thing, and I'm going to start this with the caveat. I know it's not polished, and I know polish comes last, but every part to where he landed on the planet toward the end, all of that ground combat was, in my opinion, it was pretty awful. It was pretty sluggish. It was pretty slow. It didn't seem very fun to me. All of the FPS stuff on the surface did not seem very fun to me. But I know it's an alpha. I know it's not the new FPS system. I know it needs polish.
I don't even think they had the cover system in. Like the cover system.
Probably not. They're probably rethinking the cover system from scratch.
No, they've rebuilt the cover system. The cover system exists.
Cover system 2.6.
Yeah.
Oh, will it be in 2.6?
Yeah, and they have rethought it from scratch, but I don't because how it works. It's a natural. Like now, if you're in FPS and you see your gun tip up, that's the key in 2.6.
Okay, so they got rid of
system. So you can
got rid of the old system from playing with the CryEngine assets. It was literally a little like CryEngine calls them area box. It's an area box saying, hey, if you're inside of this box, you can take cover, and that's how they did it the old way. I wouldn't be surprised. Like you said,
now it's procedural.
Yeah, because they have the physicalized EVA. It makes sense that they could physicalize the FPS body. Hey, you get into cover, now you'll automatically take cover.
Yeah, they're doing lots of raycasting and stuff, and they're also doing raycasting determine if you're at the edge of cover, so you can determine whether you can peek out by ADS or whatever. So that's all going in. Plus, there's a bunch of other stuff they're doing for FPS, which I hope, not expecting, but hope to be in 2.6, like the mantling, vaulting, sliding mechanics. So,
yeah, that'll be really cool to see.
I'd love to see just even what they have right now for the sliding. They had for the sliding system. What I've seen with the sliding system looks pretty fucking cool.
Do you guys remember when sliding was in? What was it? 1.4?
Yeah, you could hit control while running in the hangar and slide on your knees.
And if you ran it like the deluxe hangar, you ran into your stairs and slid it. It acted as like a rocket and would launch you across your hangar.
Yeah, I love that.
For 2.6,
yeah, the ice slide.
For 2.6, I think that they have to have most of those features in already, because that release isn't just a release for us. That's a release for a load of FPS players. That
we all have friends who are content creators who have been waiting for Star Marine.
They can't do that. They can't do that section as an alpha because the problem is if it's an alpha stage gameplay that we're used to, people are going to go, this game's crap, or not transfer over to it from Counter-Strike. That's be perfect already.
That's why they waited. That's one of the reasons they waited, because it was in the leaked build I have. It was essentially ready to go, but it was very clunky. It was even clunkier than what I saw during the demo, and nobody would want to play that. It was pretty sloppy.
And for the Star Marine stuff, it has to have an element of addiction. Like you have to want to play to progress. Now that's the rec system or ranking or whatever they do for it. Yep. That has to be there already. They can't add that in a later patch. That has to be there as they release it for this particular release.
And specifically, it also has to. You got to look at the field that it's competing against right now. Battlefield 1, Call of Duty: Infinite Warfare, Titanfall 2.
It's competing against full games that are AAA titles when it is in alpha as a side module.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's crazy. It's cray-cray.
So how about you? Cray-cray. GHG?
Well, first off, the second he got out of bed and all that, I was like, okay, here we go again. When that Moby Glass popped up and the video played, that's when my excitement started. That was beautiful, motion capture. That's not my favorite part though, but just since no one has mentioned it, that was an amazing. When I just knew, I was like, oh my god, this demo's gonna be fucking awesome. For me, when they were going to the Levski, they first quantum up to the first station, and they're just kind of flying past it and looking. I was like, wow, that's so pretty. And then he does a quick quantum again to that like planetary kind of ring thing. I don't know what they would even call it.
A checkpoint.
Yeah, and it had the little red like mile markers leading all the way down, so it would kind of guide you. You know where to go to get to that landing zone, because you could just land anywhere if you wanted to, but to have the mile markers kind of almost like our interstate to lead you where you need to fly. And then as soon as that atmospheric reaction happened on the hull and it started heating up, granted it was a pretty basic deal. And it'd been nice to see some charring on the ship or something, which I know they can do.
I'm gonna let you finish, Gray, but Kerbal Space Program is the best re-entry physics in video games.
I actually want to add on to Gray's when he's done.
Go ahead.
But
Yeah,
that alone, man, that right there, doing the short jump from that first station to that next, and then starting to fly in, getting that atmospheric burn, and coming down and being able to make out the little flashing lights of Levski and stuff, that to me blew me away, because I've been wanting to land on a planet for so long. Because for people like us that do stream, that need content and all, getting 6, 8, 10 of us together on stream with dragonflies or whatever going on the planet, you don't have to have shit to do. You can say, hey man, take your Mustang and land it down there. All right, you take your Aurora, land it over there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our own little racetrack, go around these 3 ships, kind of like a baseball diamond or something. You can do crash up derbies and full weapons on racing, and stuff they don't have in game, but we can make so much gameplay now once 3.0 comes out. Not to mention the missions and all that. That's fine too. But just our own silly fun. Totally fucking blew me away.
That's after the 3 months where the content will have just exploring the shit they give us.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to literally... at one point, they mentioned a year ago that what they have on Delmar is about the continent of India, in terms of its subcontinent of India. It's not a continent, it's whatever. About the land area of India. So, and I can guarantee you that it's going to take you more than a couple of months to walk around India, if you're just going to walk. And so to explore the whole thing. So that's just Delmar.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot to explore, and I guarantee you they'll have a little Easter egg somewhere. Disco is probably going to leave his keys somewhere on Delmar. We're going to have to find it. It'll be like an entire context.
Yep.
Delmar has Bollywood confirmed?
Yes.
Yeah. The only thing that bugged me was it ended, and then I was left there running. I was so into watching it, and then it ends, and then he ended the stream like real quick after that demo, and then I sat there and I felt empty. I was like, there's got to be more,
Chris.
or
Chris?
hey, go through Levski a little bit more, and I was left there going, shit, there's so much there, and we got to see this much of it.
Yep.
Which I know that's a whole part of it, but that's
the best.
That's
yeah. They got to leave you wanting more. And incidentally, I did the Wolfram Alpha. The surface area of that of Delamar, given a 2,000 square kilometer diameter, is 4 million square kilometers.
Boom.
It's a lot.
How long would it take to explore that? Any idea?
17 beers.
Well,
Exactly 17 beers. CIG confirmed. Posted on the forums.
How much will there be to explore, though? That's the question.
How much? It depends on how bored you get. For me, I could do that shit all day.
I guarantee
something's
you
over the
that
horizon.
they'll stick something. It'll be something really simple. Like they'll have like a pirate base somewhere on Delmar. I'm sure they'll have a smuggler's den. They'll have like wrecks dotted. Like you'll find like a fucking like crashed like Cutlass or something like that, or Caterpillar.
Yeah, but,
just chilling out somewhere.
My question is, have you played Elite Dangerous, Gray?
No, sir.
Okay, I want to know if you could get an Elite Dangerous, go get a Scarab, go land on any of the atmospheric planets or moons that you can land on in Elite, hop in the Scarab, which is pretty much the Ursa of the game, and drive around that entire planet without getting bored. That is the thing about Elite. Elite's universe is so vast, but like a lot of like No Man's Sky, and I'm a huge fan of No Man's Sky, is it's all procedurally generated, so it's empty.
Right. And
or it has the generic, but but a lot of it will be procedural. It's the only way they can fill up the content. Now, look, don't get me wrong. The landing zones are going to be handcrafted. They have to.
No.
You can't get the detail by procedural generation. You just can't.
Yeah.
Chris talked about this on the stream earlier today. He talked about they want to move away from the entire procedural generated thing, and they
really?
He specifically pointed out Elite and No Man's Sky, saying they're good, but they have a lot of empty space, and we want to have less content, with less like total number of planets and stuff like that, but more
to do per planet.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's all about them. It's all about them building tools. They're artists at the moment.
Yes.
So broad brushstrokes.
Yeah, they're building kits.
Really add.
They're building quote unquote kit sets. So, like I noticed when he was walking through Delamar, I recognized about half of those assets from Elite build of the various places as assets they have made, and they retexture it a little bit, or they can reuse it, which is really, really awesome because. Yeah, I'm going to use the example Chris used. In the real world, a house is made out of the same materials. They're pretty much just organized differently or colored differently, and you can do that.
Yeah, well, I
you
think
drive through a lot of neighborhoods and you go, I recognize that house. I've seen that
Yep.
type of house before.
Yeah, most houses these
Same
days
type
are
of
using
house.
4 or 5 different blueprints.
it's true. It's true. But I think it's not just about the kits, though, because they've talked about they're using the procedural generation with certain parameters to build the skeleton of the planet.
Right.
It has to be that. And obviously,
Yeah,
they've
of
used
course.
procedural generation to do the transitioning and all the textures and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But they've developed the tools to allow their artists, their world builders, to actually paint biomes. onto
That
the
makes sense. Because
So-
that's one thing CryEngine's pretty good at doing, even out of the box without Frankfurt team on it, is you can say, hey, I want this set of trees and plants and brush, and you take a paintbrush and paint, and you can get
One of 'em-
heavy variation just out of the box. And what I've seen these people do is absolutely amazing. I mean, when Gray was talking about him going to the planet, think about the ArcCorp demo when he landed on ArcCorp. Remember what Chris was talking about, how the re-entry effect was pretty much a loading screen to bring in the planet.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. The planet is there. You're going down into it.
The question is, like,
it's phenomenal what they've been able to do so far.
I would like to know what happens when you don't have shields and you try to go down into.
That's going to be pretty hilarious.
I mean, I want to know if your primary buffer panel is going to fall off your car.
Dragonfly?
You can't go
Plus
down into
planets
dragonflies.
equals you can try. The science will have to be done.
Yeah, I plan on trying many a time.
Gray, I think you're
You're muted, Gray.
Yeah, I am, but I was talking junk anyway. I was just doing the primary buffer thing in my own head. I didn't want to interrupt everybody.
The primary buffer panel will
It's
fall off my
Firefly stuff.
program ship. Yeah.
But I think
primary buffer panel?
the point for me, the thing that turns me off from Planetary Landing and Elite Dangerous in No Man's Sky, although I still enjoy both the games, is, and what I think is going to give you the diversity to allow you to explore for hours and days on end individual planets, is the biodiversity of having those biomes and how those interact. So you'd have like forests running up to a mountain, which leads down to an ocean, and having those the way those interact gives you those interesting things where you find this lagoon hidden in the forest, in the mountains, like this is the most beautiful place I've found in the world. And discovering those things is going to be a lot more interesting, I feel.
I'm going to hold, and I don't agree. I mean, I don't disagree with you that it's absolutely going to be beautiful, but I'm going to hold reservation on how they make it fun. Now, they have yet to come underneath my expectations on release. They have yet to come underneath my expectations of what I was expecting something to be. But we'll see, because I know with a lot of games, the biggest issue that a lot of people have with games is the quote-unquote the grind. And it's going to be, how do they keep it fun? Not how is it not fun the first 12 hours I'm playing it. It's how do they keep me coming back for my 1200th hour? You know, or my.
I
Go ahead.
think the big thing is that if you look at games like World of Warcraft, you look at games like DayZ, you look at games like Kerbal Space Program, the things that they succeed at doing is they succeed at creating environments that you're just pushed to explore. If you look at Kerbal Space Program, most of the planets are empty, completely
That's very
empty.
true.
But they're still fun to kind of mess around with because they have little Easter eggs every once in a while. They have little places where you can go. And with like DayZ, most of what DayZ is, it's an idyllic countryside. It's essentially the countryside of the Czech Republic. You know, they've turned into it. But it's still very interesting because there are things you can explore, and there's specific things you're incentivized to explore and find stuff.
They're games though with very different pulls. So the Kerbal Space
the pool
Program
is
it's got
exploding.
it is. It's doing it better next time, trying something new. With DayZ, it's very much the competitive. What's going to happen? How long am I going to survive for? What the hell's going to happen? What was the other game you said at the first?
I think he said
World of
WoW.
Warcraft.
World of Warcraft, people are much more socially invested in that because they've got guilds. They want to do raids. They want to talk to people. They want to be
Dance
part
on the
of
mailbox
But,
naked.
but in terms of the
That's
environment,
something that
in terms of
Star
the
Citizen
environment,
do.
all three of them do different things, but are still very effective. Like WoW does a traditional Zone A, Zone B, Zone C, Zone D. Like they all have their own art palettes for specific zones that we go into. And I think to a degree we're going to have all three of those kind of approaches in Star Citizen. You're going to have Delmar's going to be a zone. It's going to be a planet. It's going to be mostly monotoned. It's going to be mostly, but it'll have
barren.
little things to incentivize you to explore. Like, hey, you find this wreck. you get a lot of UEC suddenly kind of thing.
I got something to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Raise your hand.
I'm raising my hand. What we all have to remember also is everybody likes a little something different. Some people like to nail their nuts to a bar stool.
Yeah.
That's not for me to say that's fun nor not fun. Some people want to grind, some people do not. As long as they give us enough options that we can, for the grindy people, like in WoW, I'd mine for 6 hours straight. I had no problem with it.
I know people who've spent like months just mining in Eve and then had it absolutely like amazing. They enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I think they just need a plethora of options. If you do, like you were talking about Phoenix Feather, could I land on that moon and just drive around? I could, but that's me. I'm very, very different than a lot of other people. I can do mundane stuff like that because I'm always thinking, what's over that next hill? And even if I found a piece of an engine off of something, I'd freak out. Like, oh yeah, I found something. It's totally worthless, but fuck yeah. And then I get back in my Dragonfly or Ursa and go.
To be fair, the comparison to the games doesn't really bear out because with Star Citizen being a sandbox games designed right shouldn't really have a grind element. So things like WoW, the grind is ultimately your journey to a point where you feel like you've achieved something. So I need to grind up to get to max level so I can raid. I need to grind the raid so I can do the next raid. And these are, you have a goal and you have something you have to do that's stopping you from doing that goal. Whereas with the sandbox, you are able to do everything right away. So if they need to make the game to succeed as a sandbox, and they make each thing on its own enjoyable as a thing to do. I mean, like PlanetSide has talked about farming and hunting animals and mining. And you should be doing that because that's what you want to be doing rather than I need to do this because I can't do this other thing until I've done that.
Yeah, that's the key is choice. The key is choice. If you're given the other
variety.
If you have the choice to do so, you don't have to do it. It's not like No Man's Sky where you have to do that. You have to go grind for materials. And so some people who don't like that are not going to be able to enjoy the game.
That's very
and there's no other options.
You are restricted though by three things though in Star Citizen, which is the amount of UEC you've got, your social circle, and your skill level. Those are your personal skill level.
People will find things to grind if they look for grind in any game. There's always things.
Yep. Well, a lot of people have said their end goal. Go ahead, Grocky.
There's going to be grinding no matter what game you're in. You can't avoid it. Even in Minecraft, very open. You can technically do anything from the start, especially now. All the recipes are there, but you still have to grind resources to build this thing, to go into the earth, to go grab this thing, to get to this thing, to then finally get your items to get another portal and go on. And no matter what game it is, even in a sandbox, there's grinding.
Oh yeah,
but the point I was going to make earlier is if you get rid of the skill trees and then expand the play area by a massive amount and then add on really good space play, honestly, this is basically Star Wars Galaxies 2.0.
No, it's definitely
in its core element environment of what Star Wars Galaxies provided, with the social aspect, the possibilities of PvP, the open play areas, the theme park possibilities, put into a new engine with better graphics, with, possibly better story written, single player game added on, better space combat, and all of this other stuff. At its core, it's very much that game design. And there's a reason that a lot of people were rabid for that game until they screwed it up with NGE, which I still hate them for till today. But yeah.
And also, how fun can the grind be? They can make it very, very fun.
That's the key, is that a lot of people confuse grind with gameplay. Like with progression. They say progression is grind or grind is progression, and they think that grind is... We put grind, it's automatically negative connotation. And there are games out there... I had a good experience recently with Life is Futile, your own, where they do a good job of saying, essentially, yeah, you're grinding, but you have a goal in mind, and as you're going towards that goal, you need to have your friends mine out some ore for you so you can smelt it so you can get that goal. And as you're doing that, they're just naturally progressing. You're naturally progressing the game because you're getting towards an end goal, but it doesn't feel like a grind. It feels like progression because everyone's participating and getting everything done. And I think that's going to be more of a Star Citizen mindset. Like, we want to get a Hull C because we want to be able to haul more stuff because we want to make more money. Cool, let's do a couple of missions together, and then adventures happen, sort of thing.
That brings up a good point, because a lot of people that I know are purposely saying, "Hey, I have a second account with an Aurora," or "Hey, my only ship is an Aurora because I want to build up from nothing." Well, There you go. Perfect example.
Yeah.
But I have an Idris. I have friends that have Idri, and it's
Clifford. Clifford.
I don't want to build up to one. I'm glad I'm going to have one at day one. I have a place to hang out with my friends, and whether or not we have to, I have another buddy who has a Hall E. Well, let's get the Idris and the Hall E together and transport things. That sounds kind of boring, like, oh, yeah, boring escort mission, because who's going to pick on an Idris? But if CIG gets the tension right when you're flying through low security space, trying to get the valuable cargo from planet A to planet B, if they get the tension right that you're always on edge, or even if it's a low, a high security mission where you don't have to worry about it, you're sitting there joking with your friends the whole time. That makes it fun. A lot of these games, like Elite, got multiplayer. It's kind of broken. You have a wing with 4 people maximum, and No Man's Sky, no multiplayer at all. I think the fact that Star Citizen is multiplayer, and if they can get the instances as large as Chris is hoping they can and saying they can, that will really add to it, because I can have all of my friends together on my ship, and we're all having a blast, just joking with each other, walking around the ship, making sure it's flying.
Can we take a quick moment and realize how many times Chris tried to emphasize the fact that you could see each other and that it was a multiplayer game? I wonder why he was constantly saying that.
Because a lot of people don't believe it.
I don't think. I don't think he was intentional. I don't think he was intentionally shooting broadsides at No Man's Sky.
I don't think so either.
There was one guy that he was making sure, and he still said, "Oh, it's bullshit. It's fake."
Yeah, but I just want to say one more thing about grind.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing about grind. So there's only one small discrete difference between grind and gameplay, and that's if you enjoy what you're doing.
Yep.
Take hauling. To some, hauling the 20-40 minutes across the system, hauling goods is a grind because I'm not happy doing it, but it's something I have to do to get to an end. To other people, that's just gameplay. I love just cruising across space with a thing. And so I don't call it grind, whereas this guy does call it grind. And the key with a sandbox is take UEE. Yes, okay, it's a grind to get UEE, but is it? Because there's multiple ways to earn money. So I'm getting money by hauling stuff. I'm enjoying it, so it's not a grind. Or I'm getting UEE by doing missions. I love it, so it's not a grind. Whereas if those people switch places, they may both be saying, oh, this is grind because now I have to haul, or this is a grind because now I'm doing missions. But the point is the choice. You choose to do the things you enjoy doing, which is gameplay, to achieve the same endpoint. As long as there's the variety there, then sure, you can say I'm grinding, but that connotation of grind is, am I enjoying what I'm doing, or am I only doing this because I want to achieve X?
Right. And that's one thing that a lot of other games got wrong. I'm going to use Elite as an example, because if you want to make money in Elite, you have 2 options. You can either go to a hazardous resource extraction site, and you better have a really kitted out ship, and you might still get wrecked, or you better find a trade route that's between System A and System B. That's one jump apart, where you can make 6 million credits in a half an hour. But it's one thing or 2 very specific things that you can do. It's not 9 or 10 or 12 things that you can do varying different locations in the universe. It's a very specific location you have to go to get it done. So I would call that a grind.
It's very reminiscent
Go to station
the 90s games.
swing back, shoot.
All right, so to cut this off right now, so we can actually get some of these questions in, because we've got a lot of questions coming through, and I want to recognize that people have time. They have lives and stuff like that here, so they want to get this stuff done.
We have lives?
Go ahead. What's the one thing, Flint?
The one thing I want to bring up, which I kind of hinted on with the whole hauling thing, the comment from Chris today. I want to hear everyone in the cast's thoughts on the 40 minutes across Stanton. Bearing in mind that Stanton isn't the biggest system or the smallest system; it's just a system. But 40 minutes in Quantum if you want to go edge to edge.
Awesome.
I better be able to play like cards or something. There better be something happen between those 40 minutes.
Yeah, really. That's a long time to get off the pilot seat.
I think that's absolutely awesome.
Talked about it.
I think it's great. Ship, though, that's okay. But something on like a freelancer, there's not a lot to do.
Why would you ever fly from edge to edge? You're never going to fly to edge to edge.
You never have the points.
But you don't need to. I mean, it's irrelevant to do that.
Okay, well, then let's take out edge to edge. Did he say from planet from the sun to the farthest planet out of the
No, he
closest
said edge to edge.
Edge to edge.
Okay,
forward.
because let's say the planets on an orbit, they're pretty far apart, and they're going to be on rails. You know, the planets are going to move like they do in other games. Planet I want to go to is over here. The other planet I want to go to over here. Let's say it takes 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Let's cut that in half. 20 minutes to go from planet A to planet B. That's still a pretty long time to do nothing on a ship like a Constellation or a Freelancer, something bigger like a Javelin or an Idris. You can walk
unlikely.
around the entire 20.
Yeah.
Entire.
Well, we talked about
space
that.
beyond the planets, though.
There's going to be very rare that you're going to be traveling long distances if you're not a hauler.
And you'll
For
stop
that
at various
kind of
points
reason.
as well.
Gas
Like take an
stations.
M50. An M50 runs out in quantum fuel in about 30 seconds worth of quantum flight.
That's a lot of refueling.
The idea of it is that you're going to continuously be doing things while you're moving across the system.
And he's talking about repairing your ship, maintaining system.
I got
Being
Checking
pulled out
your
of
cargo,
quantum.
making sure that I'm not in there with a knife and a shotgun ready to take your ship. You know, that kind of
And
stuff.
yeah, he
Interdiction
talks about
system.
other.
Did you just confirm
Making it
quantum
fun.
boarding?
The mission system
Confirmed.
and time to travel will both be at play to make sure it is fun for players. They want it to be quick, but also have a sense of achievement, even when you're
Subsumption.
jumping from mission to mission. Yeah, the
You might
subsumption
get-
and
Yeah, interdicted and shit.
Dude, if it was
Yeah.
2 hours, I'd still be happy. Like seriously, I
I'm in this
recognize.
game for it to be long.
No, I
Well,
agree. I think we need long distances because
I recognize the
slows
importance of
it
that.
down.
To make
Gives you
calling
downtime.
well.
no, you also need mission limits and time limits. So average missions that you want to do with your friends of 4 players, say, need to be no longer than half an hour to 40 minutes, unless it suggests it's going to be longer. And so you can't have giantly huge travel times. I mean, obviously, there's going to be loads of players with their emergent gameplay doing their own thing. Yeah, you might get together with a giant fleet and travel to the corner of a sector, which is going to take you 40 minutes. But that's going to be very rare.
Yeah, and I think there was an article I read a while back that talked about downtime versus gameplay, and used example of EverQuest as being a good example of being that most people would use their
Boats.
significant downtime in EverQuest, where you would have time to regroup and talk with people simply by doing things like going to sell items or go get new stuff. And that made the game better. That made the game better than if it was just constant action all the time. You do need some downtime, and so it's good that they're building in some downtime so that you can talk with your friends or play
Watch the Murray
cards
Cup.
or whatever. Yeah, watch the Murray Cup or something like that.
Pull your
hookers.
arena commander helmet down.
Yeah, space hookers and blow. Just
Also, you got to bear in mind as well that there's going to be you could spend entire game sessions of multiple hours just around one planet, one system doing things. The travel from there to another planet in the same solar system is something you're doing to move to a completely different biome, game area, whatever.
You
So-
got to think of it less of as a systems are not the smallest unit. Planetary systems are the smallest unit, and even then, you could go around Crusader for days doing missions and still have in the final game and still have lots of things to do because there's so many planets and moons and that kind of stuff. What you have to deal with is that the system is the medium-sized. The star system is a medium-sized playground, and the universe is a large playground that if you're moving from Terra to Stanton, that's a significant move. That's like picking up, from moving from country to country almost in real life terms. And as someone who's done that recently, Flint, I know you know that it's not easy, and you have to do a lot of crazy stuff for it. And I'm sure it would be the same situation.
And I actually want it to be the case where there's a large chunk of people who are like, well, I can't be bothered flying all the way across that other planet, so I'll pay this guy who's spent his time hauling this goods over for the stuff he's brought. Rather than just saying, well, I'm not spending that, I'll do it myself. There needs to be
I
some
need to move my ships.
cost benefit.
Get a whole E to do it.
Go, Greg. You have to go.
No, I'm fine. Go.
We're gonna be here for another hour, dude. So go if you have to go.
Yeah,
Bro,
I gotta go.
I got an iron gut. I'm good. I was just fucking around with chat. I do 2 and 3 hours on Not So Sober Saturday. Drink like 6 or 8 beers. Not a problem. And plus, I'll pee in my pants. I'm a big boy. I'll do what I want.
Oh my
You'll,
god.
I bought this tire.
Come back
you'll
to hear
astronaut
pee
this.
in my
Be a
pants.
true
Pixar
astronaut.
didn't happen.
All right, so the first question that we have, and by the way, if you guys have questions in chat, exclamation point question, exclamation point question mark, exclamation point questions, all will get you the link to the question form. You go to that form, you fill out your name and all that other good stuff, and I can respond. We can all respond. You can ask a question for individual cast members, for the whole table. You can ask official CIG questions, which we cannot answer, but we will answer and tell you this is exactly the answer. And confirm it. And then you can go to the forums and say, continue to
I have
remind
to be
them.
careful now. I don't know if I can answer those. I'm not official CIG, but that sort makes people think you are.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you're official enough.
I mean, we have like 200 people watching us, so at some point, you know, they're
286.
Think, so at some point they're going to think, oh, there are a lot of people. They must know what they're talking about. We have no idea what we're talking about.
We're fucking idiots, by the way. Welcome all the new people to the captain's table. We
100% certain that we're full of shit in everything we're saying.
Yes.
I'm going to tweet that out now as the tagline.
Put a disclaimer.
Captain's table. Shit. We don't know shit.
Welcome to the captain's table. We're idiots.
The whole purpose of this is just for me to get a bunch of my friends together and drink and talk shit about Star Citizen. That's
we got the drinking down.
All right, so the first question comes from CBS 22 Ohio. He says, "Are you disappointed we didn't see any Flora demoed at Gamescom?"
Nope, I've seen CryEngine Flora. No big deal.
I'm a little disappointed into seeing, like, I would have liked to have seen, like, how it is, but also the Stanton system. The Stanton system doesn't exactly have jungles running around.
It's all
Citizen Con, most likely.
Frozen, cloud.
Frozen cloud, desert, and
it's full city.
Yeah.
ArcCorp is like all city, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't in the lore like it's completely industrialized?
Delmore's like a moon.
I actually think it bodes well that we didn't see any flora or fauna, because we know that the trees and stuff and plant life exists, because Brian Chambers' name has been written in trees, and the artists are experimenting with flora.
I believe the proper term is artai.
Artopodes. But Chris is also just not happy with it yet. So it's going to be really good when it's done. And it's going to be in the procedural planet version that we get, because their 2.0 procedural planets is coming out with Star Citizen.
And I almost guarantee you what's going to happen with procedural planets 2.0 is the kind of flora and fauna we're going to get is going to be custom per the planet. Or
correct. I have zero doubt about that.
And so that's part of the reason why people are like, why isn't this game going to come out? Like, once they get all the systems in, it's going to take them a while to like customize each system to make sure that each planet has unique enough flora and fauna.
I bet you it won't take near as long as you think it will.
No, it won't probably.
It's actually the basic kits in place. The matter of modifying and making them is going to be really quick.
We're going to see pine trees everywhere we go because humans love pine trees. Because
pine trees confirmed.
Yeah, pine trees confirmed. But they even said it's actually something they released. Something that was released was like one of the tag was like CIG pine tree.
I saw that. It was that flora heat map that they released.
So we know that pine trees will exist, and I guarantee you that there will be lots of pine trees everywhere because humans like to transport shit.
I just want to go to a planet where the pine trees are all like this tall, so I can feel like a giant as I walk through them.
Also, cats. You know that cats will be
like Lilliput.
If we don't have space parrots, I will be concerned.
Parrots?
Just want to say that.
But I mean, to the question though, I think while I would have liked to see small stuff, there is no way on God's green earth that I'd ever be disappointed by anything after watching demonstration.
Everybody in his dog calls himself an
they
outlaw.
gave us more. Like, for me, my hopes and dreams were here, my expectations were here, and where they put it was like somewhere up off the screen. It was So there's no way I could be disappointed I didn't see something because there was so much.
Now, how long is the average E3 demo? 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. We had an hour. Now, granted, they could have probably gone a little faster, but they didn't. They did the demo thing and show everything. It was an hour.
Yeah, that was fantastic, and that's why that's so funny. He was rushing it. You know, he's rushing. He was
like, "Okay, we gotta get to the next thing." Well, they were probably running out of time in the venue. You know, they only have it booked until a certain time, but it was an hour long. That's a really long demo
and flawless.
No.
Flawless.
The flaws make it better. The flaws made it better.
No. What I'm talking about is there was not a single crash.
Yeah.
Everything
That's
went.
true.
He ran out of bullets. Yeah, the dragonfly.
The multi-crew demo, the first multi-crew tease when he had to respawn because when he spawned it spawned him in the middle of space.
And I will say that someone did point out that the first 15 minutes of that presentation were completely muted.
When Sandy was talking.
Yeah, but that's not a demo thing. That's a stream thing. That's normal.
Yeah. That was a stream, and it was only a part. It wasn't even
lip
15
read what
minutes.
Sandy was saying.
It's in the YouTube video.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. They probably just had it muted. In
It sucked too. She thanked us. She thanked the streamers. She thanked their volunteers. She thanked the mods for the channel, and we're like, "Oh, we missed it live."
No one wants thanks, Sandy. They want 890 jumps.
Make it rain, 890 jumps. I tagged her in the Twitter blast, so she might be watching. No, she's not.
890 jumps.
All right. So the next question comes from not very smart. Now that I've now that I've seen the presentation, how can I improve my life and make amends?
Slit your wrists.
Oh God.
Okay.
Honestly,
You can improve everyone's lives. Just do it.
Are we really going to go there?
I don't advocate for.
I don't even like sinking to that level.
No, honestly, at this point, anybody who is a professional.
Jesus Christ.
Anybody who is a professional game developer should be more focused on their own game than everybody else's game, because that's how you.
Because he's not a professional.
I'm sorry, you're talking about a blogger. You're not talking about a game developer. He's a blogger.
The game developers ignore that, and then
everyone is entitled to their own opinion on pretty much anything, as long as they don't harass or upset other people.
Mm-hmm.
So stop. If people stop,
it's really hard to do that in America.
That's the go on the subject. Next question.
All right. So from Human Evil, goddamn Human Evil. Yeah, it's 5 questions. So the first question he asks is this all? This is to all of your how clean was your screens during the 3.5 demo?
I'm sure Gray had to clean his 5 or 6 times.
Yes.
And even then, it was.
I don't even talk about what I did.
You probably had to buy a new keyboard. You couldn't clean it afterwards.
Gray's got a smash guard.
It was covered in blood from my hammer.
It seriously pulled a tear into my eye. I was so excited. I had to step back for a second because I got so excited. It actually made me tear up. I was so fucking blown away. Call me a sissy. Call me whatever you want.
Sissy.
Almost crying. I was so happy. All right. I was like a kid that got a first period. I was like, yeah.
The next question from Human Evil was. Go ahead. Go ahead, Boyd. You want to react?
No, I just don't think Gray knows women very well.
That's why I said, wait a minute, they don't get excited about that.
Oh. Next question is from Human Evil again. Do you think CIG was using the new netcode that was in 3.5 demo? Or
it wouldn't matter. They had 6 people in that game.
It was local. It's all
local server.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't completely local. I mean, it was a server, so it was a local loop server.
Well, they showed it
on server clients.
Even the last stream they did a local server of 2.5 for the streamers. So we know that they have the ability to draw from the assets from that.
Which, on that note, can I say how ballsy it was that they were streaming 2.4 live from the Gamescom floor?
Yeah,
and it went well.
It went pretty well. I mean, there were a lot of snipes and stuff like that, but the fact that they were doing it live instead of just having all the streamers sit together and fill the game, fill the floor with NPCs, that was kind of impressive.
It was great to see the different streamer communities. So you saw DJ Knight was very much, his community clearly wanted to troll him, whereas Twerks, they were all trying to crew a ship with him.
Yeah, Captain Richard had a fleet where they just follow him around.
Yeah. It was weird seeing the different communities how they operate on their stream.
Yep.
But
I was part of that.
Of course you were, Gray. Of course you were.
And Baron, half the people shooting at him, and half the people trying to defend him and failing miserably.
All I can say is missile spam is real.
I had my fair share of personal friends who were trying to cause chaos.
Nice.
I tried to cause chaos, but the server kept crashing on me.
All right, so
just to the question real quick, I just want to make one point.
Mm-hmm.
While they showed off 3.0. They were showing off features of 3.0. That wasn't
3.0 doesn't
3.0
exist.
completed, ready to run.
Right.
So
3.0
it's not
doesn't
going to have
exist.
all the stuff in.
Like 3.0, I want to make this point as well. 3.0 does not exist at this point.
Yes.
What it is?
No,
that was taking assets that they've been working to put together.
It was expanded 2.0. It wasn't 3.0. Why?
That is a separate build. That is, if I'm not mistaken, the base of 3.0. That is a
no.
Yes, but it doesn't have the Star Marine build integrated.
It's definitely a vertical
It doesn't
slice.
have Planets 2.0. It doesn't have any of the stuff that they're planning on putting in.
It's 3.0, 4 months away from being completed.
Yes, absolutely. But I want to make sure everyone know that I actually talked to the person working on that build. That is a build that is, it's a small
you can
3.0,
spawn
but
it
it's
and
3.0.
play it. But it's gonna be an expanded version of 2.0 instead of 2.5 and 2.6.
Also,
doesn't have
as far
substantion.
as I'm aware, with the dev branches now, it's less branchy and more a single tree trunk.
And that'll happen
there are
as they bring
branches,
more of the core systems online. Like when 2.6 goes live, it's probably going to be a huge relief on the dev team because they can finally merge that build into everything.
Yeah, including the cover systems, the new SCM modes and racing and all that kind of stuff.
And the new avatar system.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that was actually quite the announcement. Now, when they say custom avatars, do they mean custom built on their end or custom built on our end?
I think on our end, otherwise they wouldn't have used the word custom because everyone in the community will go mental.
Yeah, but you think Chris being Chris, he would have really gushed about that.
No, because they don't want to talk about 2.6 yet.
No, 2.6 is going to be. What they're going to do is once 2.5 comes out, they're going to do ATV rotation talking about.
Okay,
2.6,
that's
building
that's
the hype
fair.
up. That's fair.
yeah.
They want to save it for each studio showing off the sexiness that is 2.6, and they're also getting the previews of 3.0 at the end of every. That's kind of how it's been working in terms of the ATVs. All right,
that's fair.
The next question comes from again Human Evil. How awesome was the Zero-G ragdoll stuff in the Starfarer?
Very cool.
We talked about that.
We talked about that.
Very cool.
Next question from him is, goddamn Human Evil. How much of a performance increase do you think Starcode 1.0 will give us now that we know what will be in 3.0?
Who knows?
We don't
We'll
know.
say we
will
won't know until we play it.
I honestly,
Playable.
my belief is that the whatever it's called,
the new netcode.
it's called
Starcode.
Star Network, I think is what it's called. 1.0 Star
Yeah, I
Network.
think it was Star Network.
Star Network. When more than likely
Starnet.
What will be Starnet.
Oh,
Starnet.
But more than likely, it'll introduce things like being able to cull distant objects from having not loading into asset, loading it in, but loading in for the very basics. We already have some of that to a degree, but having more of that and having the player base just spread out over a large area is going to decrease or increase the FPS significantly.
Its first iteration is really simple. It is just new network code to increase performance and to add more players.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm sure is going to be
simple.
somewhere between 40 and 50 players is probably what they're going to be shooting for.
Do you think so? Do you think that meant my 48 players would be amazing?
They mentioned 48 players in one of the it was like the anniversary streams. It was like they were planning on getting around 40 something players.
Yeah, but they also mentioned
a while
the Star
ago.
6
That was
mate.
back
Yeah,
when
true.
things were a lot
But that
smaller.
had to do with no, like 40 players back in 2000 or back in July.
Yeah, but isn't that when he was talking about 40 players per instance in the end game? Not like he's talking.
His goal.
Oh, the instancing is dead.
No, he was saying 40 players. It was the network guy at Foundry 42 UK mentioned initially we're going to get 40 something players in, and then we're going to get link all of the servers together to make them function. So, like that's what he said. So I'm assuming that that's still a plan. It may have gone out the window with the, baby went out with
Starnet
bathwater,
seems to be changing that plan. The way they've talked about the new networking code and the way they're leaning towards it sounds like that old plan just went
Yeah, Chris.
And
wasn't
then
that
they're
interview?
trying something
Wasn't that
else.
interview Chris was talking about? They were talking about kind of doing away with instancing, right? Like months and months and months ago, Chris was talking about instancing as in, hey, we have 24 players per instance. We have 4 instances running per blade, 12 blades per server. And he's talking now that I think, now granted, don't get me wrong, I haven't watched the whole thing. I kind of read the Reddit summary. But the latest interview, wasn't he talking about, we're kind of looking at doing away with instancing.
Oh, yeah. No,
it's going to be, here's all your players, not 12 players per instance, 4 instances per blade.
Yeah.
There are going to be instances, but there's not going to be like we have right now. You go into an instance, that's where you're in, and you never leave that thing. No, what they're going to be doing,
you stream in and out of an instance.
It's a large contiguous cluster of servers which manages the whole area, and and each different part of the system will be managed by its own server. Once the amount of people in that area goes above a certain threshold, then another copy of that is made as an instance. So you'll fly there seamlessly, and you'll be put into whichever part of the area is available, has space available for you.
I thought he talked even more about that being less of a thing and it being more. Anyway, that doesn't matter.
Or you could dump 1,000 people.
The difference is where your information has been held on a cloud of servers and who you will see in the area. That's all.
They might limit it at first and then ramp it up like you do with any network thing. So unlike WildStar, maybe they don't set their servers on fire during beta.
Oh, this is a Star Citizen community.
Their servers are set on fire every other week.
We can break something. If you give us the ability to break a server, we'll break a server. We love breaking servers. I
don't know if we've set a SIG server on fire yet.
We've crashed their website several times over the course. Crashed almost everything.
Still not a server fire.
We got to work on that, Groxies.
Yeah, we got to find a way to do it.
Alrighty, even if we have to break in and set the server on fire ourselves.
We do not advocate doing that. We do not advocate.
Might not necessarily told me to do it. The thoughts and kind of reasons of board gamer talking about.
Next question comes from Blank. Blank asks, "How do you guys escape from those parties? Those pirates? Last minute. Those parties, yar.
I don't escape the party. It follows me everywhere.
The pirates.
2 words, dramatic effect.
I think he at the end of that, those pirates, that Merc group at the end of that demo. The answer is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure you have Grokes in orbit so he can hug the crap out of that main vanguard as it comes down.
They
I'll
probably
come down as a fireball and go,
in that particular scripted event, if that's a real mission, they probably don't attack you. They probably just don't let you loot the base. They go, we're taking the rest of this. So that you get like a small reward rather than you own a pirate base now.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's just sort of like a story for them going, well, otherwise we'd have all of those pirates' armor, we'd have all of their gear, we'd have everything. Mm-hmm. So
you can try to take their stuff, but it ain't gonna end well for you, and then you'll wake up in a bed and have nothing.
Or maybe it goes well for you if you
win.
You
skilled enough.
Maybe. Yeah.
If you have
those would be some really awful pirates, because I'm not sure. I can't remember if those were sabers or vanguards. But by the time you get into the get up the freelancer ramp,
was a hoplite.
You'd be dead.
Hoplite, woo!
Yeah, or is it hoplite?
Yeah, but who's to say you didn't store a few, ground to ship railguns in your ship to pop on your shoulder
I just carry those around in my pocket all the time.
Yeah, so
hey man, I'm going to
a freelancer. I might have a few on the walls ready to go.
Yeah, but by the time you get in the wall, I'd hope they'd shot you already. The worst pirate
situation.
All right, we're going back in our ship.
Go ahead, Gort.
There might be like those vanguards turned up and you might be able to fight them. Will the mission system go, well, I know this guy's got an Idris in orbit as well. Like those pirates wouldn't fight you if those mercs wouldn't fight you.
I hope not.
Just go, no, he's got an Idris.
I hope not, because I just call in my friends.
Well, that's the thing, is that that's the kind of thing that where they leave it at a cliffhanger. Any number of things could happen. You could call your friends and be like, "Yo, we're surrendering," and you call your friends like, "Hey guys, I've got some fucking problems down here," and then have them come in here. So while they're taking the shit, suddenly you have a rain of auroras, or you have your buddy with a shooting a railgun from his Idris down at these guys trying to load up their shit.
Oh my god!
Like this is, and that's the thing, the beauty of this game, and how they've set that up is that literally anything can happen at that point. It's not just a fade to black. You're all done.
Laser pointing a target, and then have a railgun from orbit come down.
I would love to see that happen. If you can planetary bombard in this game, I'm going to be so many different levels of happy, because the crap I'm going to do with Benny's machines. I'm gonna go quantum and drop one out the back, and then change my trajectory and watch what happens. Because we figured out the damage.
I have a Benny machine. Now, thank you.
A Benny machine at quantum is, I believe it was 100 megaton explosion.
I'm writing that down. That's a mod idea now. Thank you.
Parrot Math did the math for me before when we asked about it, but.
Number 1 mod is Space Crab Survival Mode. Number 2 is Benny Orbital Bombardment.
I did the Quantum Benny Cannon on stream before, where you line up a Benny in a ship.
Holy crap!
All right. Right angle,
I'm going to do my best to get through all of these questions, but we're getting
lightning
round. A massive
lightning round.
We've got 20 minutes left, and I've got at least 50 questions here.
Lightning round. Let's do it.
Looks like we're at 3 hours.
Hayasi asks, since Chris said 3.0 by the end of the year, does that mean Squadron 42 is getting delayed since 3.0 is going to be a good excuse? No.
They're separate entities now.
And also, we may not know. He said they're going to try to end of the year. More than likely, it could slip until beginning of next year. Who knows? With 3.0, because it's the one thing that they haven't promised.
2020.
Next question comes from not GHG. Was there a live stream yesterday or something? Oh.
Huh.
You're the first question asked this time.
You're fired!
Dude, I'm so tired. I sat here and I was like, fuck, I forgot about my question. And apparently a lot of
Takaroshi asks, will the need to talk to NPCs in person for missions cause similar issues seen in The Division, where people have to form a queue to talk with them? Yes. Get live, buddy.
That's a legit question. I was wondering that.
Yeah. I think that means that NPC will not give you an or you'll have to wait for that mission, or you can go off and do another mission.
Giving Chris's know-how, it would probably expire if somebody talked to him, and then another one would generate to another NPC.
That would actually be perfect. Is if they did, that NPC would spawn a mission and pick a random person in the area to send it to.
Yep. That's my guess. Is it would be that NPC and you would be linked. It wouldn't be that NPC and everybody else.
Because that would make it unique. You know, you'd be the one person doing it, and then I forget who said earlier about someone overhearing the mission and following you and trying to steal the crate. That would be awesome emergence.
And that gives NPCs a purpose besides taking up space.
Yeah.
Yep.
So could we get in a space taxi and go follow that ship?
Yes.
Space Uber.
Absolutely.
You can get into the back of GHG's
Argo.
Plus with it being synchronized, it makes it multi-crew.
Don't have a quantum drive.
No.
You have an Argo and not a parent ship?
No, I'm gonna be my Argo's gonna be very modified, like the Millennium Falcon.
But no, having it done that way would make it even easier for them to synchronize it, so that if you're on a multi-crew ship and it's spawned, that's valid for everyone who's going with you on the ship.
Yep.
I don't think they should have missions that just like, oh, I've done a mission, I get some reward magically given to me. It should be done in a way that you can claim the reward and distribute it amongst your crew.
That would be party system implementation.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Zeus and Oxia. Should the Ursa rover have some kind of insurance attached to it since it's more expensive than an Aurora LN?
I'm sure. I'm sure it will.
Yeah,
You better get it in game.
I think it's one of those tough ones because Grey Cats don't, but
sorry,
this one's an expensive piece of equipment, so probably should have some insurance for it.
Your dog has an inner tube on
a couple months.
My dog just got fixed.
Currently, I don't think it has insurance listed. Oh, yeah, he was
broke.
He got fixed. Yeah, he was broken. He's still broken.
I think it's one of those things. It'll probably happen, and it may be retconned in. They may give us insurance as a result. It's just one of those things that you bring up to CIG, be like, "Yo, this doesn't make any sense." And like, "Oh yeah, probably easy to blow this up. Probably should fix that." Nighthawk Zale asks, "Can each cast member share their thoughts on the new in-game nav star map display, and whether or not they feel it'll be useful for traversing entire solar systems or in between systems?"
Work in progress.
Work in progress. But
I like the idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good start. I think we'll go.
Yep.
And the ability,
good start. Work in progress.
Giving the ability for your co-pilots and multi-crew ships to do that as well would probably be pretty cool.
Yeah. I think you should be able to use the map to plot a route and then have it appear so that the pilot can then enact that route plotting.
That would be nice.
Yeah, so the pilot doesn't have to worry about anything but
navigating.
You know,
I mean, look at the carrot.
essential.
The carrot has that big globy star map, which is on the table behind.
The Andromeda has the observation deck, the turret.
Exactly. So me as the captain, I want to go to a map and say, okay, we're going to go to there, then there.
Aquila.
Route plotted the route, and then the helmsman sees the route and he gets to enact it. That's my dream.
That's gonna be essential for NPCs, for the NPC pilots. Yeah, that's
that
great.
too. Yeah. To be able to. I didn't even think of that. So having NPC crew, but having the NPC as the pilot, so you can just sit back in the captain's chair and just tell it to do things, and it'll fly
That's
around.
my plan on the interest. That or some poor schmuck of a person.
Mm-hmm.
You know that I'm gonna have a voice actor profile for engage.
Yes, Captain.
Sean Connery.
Takaroshi asks, anyone notice how different the rover looks now to how it used to look in concepts? Oh yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next
I
question.
can't wait to see how the fancy rover you get with the Phoenix.
It looks a lot more like actual concepts for NASA rovers today and other things and stuff from other games. Next question.
Paint it black and go to aliens.
Comes with the Carrack.
It comes with the Carracks, and it also comes with the Aquila.
Aquila.
Yep. And then the Phoenix comes with a fancy version of.
Mm-hmm. And I think the Ursa is supposed to be a stand-in because there's supposed to be a different rover, but they may have just said, "Screw it, we have the Ursa. Let's just use the Ursa."
Yep.
The Phoenix does come with fancy.
The Phoenix comes with an upgraded rover and an upgraded.
It's got
the
chrome
Archimedes.
rims.
The Archimedes comes with the
Archimedes,
Archimedes and an upgraded rover.
I didn't know about the rover.
Don't you copy me, Gray.
Damn it, Rock!
All right, so the next question comes from Nanoxel. What do you think of the Ursa Rover? Do you think the interior is built out well from what we could see? Do you think we could be modular so many ships, like many ships now? Oh yeah,
I'm sure it'll be modular.
It has an airlock in between the driver's seat and the passenger seat. I'm sure you'll have a pickup truck version of the Rover of the Ursa. You'll have a fuel cargo version of the Ursa. It'll be modular.
Really yeehaw.
Does it have thrusters like the Mako for Mass?
I mean, that's what I'm gonna try to do.
That's what I want to know.
I'm doing a hot drop with my Ursa the first chance I get to. We're just gonna see how far that takes that thing can land. You know,
Space pickup truck. Sign me up, boy.
Catch a ride.
All right. So, Jokic, I joke about your questions, but damn, dude, you need to be more succinct. This morning, Chris Roberts said that Squadron 42 Episode 2 will be 2 years after the release of Episode 1. Not in-game time, but our real-world time. Episode 3 will be 2 years after Episode 2. Do you think Squadron 42 might be really late release now? Maybe middle or late 2017? No idea. We'll know more at CitizenCon.
We'll see it.
I still think it might be at 2016 release rather than early 2017.
I'm thinking we might see the first 3 missions or something like that in 2016 and get it.
They might do a Hitman style where you get a bunch of missions you can...
Hitman or what the hell is the name of it? Telltale,
yeah.
Telltale.
All right, next question comes from ZZZA. They showed off a ton of content on Friday. CIG is way further ahead than most of us thought. Any guesses on... Oh, Jesus. I thought... Okay. I thought... Wrong. Yeah, gonna summarize it. Any guesses?
And we're at silence.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. Essentially, he's asking if do you think we're going to get this in small chunks or one big dump?
No,
we're getting one big dump.
One drop.
3.0, mostly one big drop, some of it small drops.
Like these alpha patches. Okay, he's basically like, why are we getting in short bursts and not one big drop, or then when it's ready? It's because it's a Lego system. We're dealing with a system where there are some things that need to be in place before others can be in place. Like star network has to be in place before you can do planets and before you can do subsumption, and subsumption needs to be in place before you can do the new mission system and lots of other things. There's lots of other things that are required before they can put it in there, and the professions doesn't exist until they've done that as well. So,
hey guys, the roofing tile's ready. Yeah, but we don't have the support beams up yet, or the
So what's the point?
Roofing.
Right.
I don't care. I want to play the roof.
Yeah.
Amen. Board. Amen.
Thoughtful Wanderer 1 asks, what about what is on the dead bodies? Will be able to search them? I think so. I think you can pull from the pockets of dead
Loot
bodies.
the bodies. Loot the
Yeah,
bodies.
we're gonna be, dude. We have to be able to loot bodies because we have pockets and stuff. So if someone kills someone, you should be able to go through their freaking pockets.
Well, no,
even
and
if it's just a clip or something, right?
and Chris has
How
even said
excited
that
you are about that, you monster.
Chris has even said that there will be like an inventory system based on what you're wearing. So
And there needs to be we don't have any form of inventory system at all right now.
Yeah.
We only have the lockers we can interact with to switch from
And I don't know
one
about
type
y'all.
to another.
But every time I come up against a dead body, I always go through its pockets.
yeah, that's what I do. It's
Just
natural
saying.
reaction.
Yeah, 'cause I just
Gamey
come
just
across
trained
dead
me to
bodies.
just pilfer dead bodies. That's just.
Well, I guess I'm not moving to Tampa, am I, Gray?
There's hey, there's lots of pockets for all of us, bro.
Oh my god. I'm writing that down.
God damn, and we're done. Good night, everybody. Now Sale asks, Board Gamer UK, are you the inspiration for the mission giving NPCs look? Are you? I think Night Sale's not so suddenly ask you, are you going to betray everyone you come across?
I don't betray people. It would be very rare for me to betray someone.
No, I
unless-
think he portrays him, not betray.
He
looks
does
like
portray him.
him.
Yeah, he asked him to portray
As in,
I
I mean,
looks
my
like an
betray
NPC.
and betray.
I want to point out there's a technical reason that NPC was bald, but I'm not going to.
It's because
Well, 'cause hair's
it's Board
hard?
Gamer. It's because
Yeah,
it's Board Gamer.
hair's not in yet.
Yeah,
Hair's hard, dude.
hair's
Game
in,
hair?
Hair is in.
no, hair's pretty soft.
No, hair is in game. We've even seen some things. It's just not in anywhere close to the build.
Everyone's gonna
No,
think
it's
I'm
not
an
in Happy
NPC.
Yep, every time they come up there, you try to get missions from.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, hey, you've got a mission for me. Fuck off.
Yo,
Not
man,
an
you got anything
NPC.
for me?
Next question comes from Takaroshi. What do you think about the guy who plays Star Killer in previous version of Star Wars games and Freddie Prinze Jr. both wanting to do voiceovers?
That was amazing.
Oh, I mean,
Serious.
here we come. I mean, in the next couple of months, we're going to start seeing that flood of voice actors and actors who are like,
Yeah.
I want to be part of Star
Bring-
Citizen.
Like,
Bring
holy
it in,
I
it's
shit.
wanna be
tier
part
two,
of Star
tier three
Citizen.
characters. Why not? Why not?
I'll do
Disco's already
some.
contacted.
Oh, yeah.
Disco's already
Whoa,
contacted.
whoa! Hey, I got exclusive rights on you, Gray. Stop it. No.
Fuck, I have a pimp now.
The disco, this question did say see Disco's tweets. So what was Ward? You've seen the tweets?
Well, okay. First of all, I'm not going to trust
Yeah.
Disco's
I saw
tweets
'em.
from a marketing perspective or a personnel perspective at all. I'm not going to trust Disco from a personal perspective at all. He's community manager, not human resources. And secondly, why not bring them on as a tier 2 or tier 3 character? And I'm saying tier 2, tier 3, tier 1 being Mark Hamill,
yeah.
Gary Oldman.
I thought
characters
those
like
were
that.
tier 0.
We've got
Well,
so
okay.
many. We've got
Okay, then I'm shifting my numbers +1. Forgive me.
we have so many fucking NPCs that are going to be in this game. I mean, just, the fucking landing guy I recognize. He's one of the actors from Until Dawn.
Wow.
It's-
No.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, he
okay.
was.
Spoilers for those of you guys who haven't seen Until
spoilers.
Dawn.
They all die, or not.
No, it's the dude who's actually like framing everybody up for like he's trying to get back at them because their sisters died. That dude. It's that actor.
He's not trying to get back at them. You spoiled it wrong. He's trying to help them all.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Helper.
That
I have
one
to
was
watch it again now because I don't think it's that guy.
It
Robot,
is.
wasn't
It's the same facial features and the same voice.
Mr. Robot.
I'm looking now.
Yeah,
I'm
Mr.
gonna-
Robot. Mr. Robot. It's
I
the
don't
guy-
believe
yeah,
you.
I was
I
pretty
don't
sure.
believe you.
I don't believe you.
Robot.
And
It
I just
sounded
love that.
a lot
I love
like
I love
Mr.
that. But
Robot.
like we're gonna need one for every landing zone, you know, and they're gonna want to be somewhat unique. So like that.
I'll
that
be
alone,
one.
Like
I think
fuck.
concierge.
Yeah.
How about concierge? Have them all do some voices for just the shit NPCs. Like, hey, come over here and buy a jug of milk, something like that.
Hey,
I really like that board
I
game
mean,
channel on YouTube.
and then pick the best ones out of it. They could have some missions.
That'd be a
I'll do-
pretty cool
I'll do
community
1,000 death noises. I don't
You're
care.
very good at death noises, Greg.
Oh, my
I'll
sweet dude.
scream for 4 hours straight.
Spoiler alert,
dying.
Gray. Don't give anything away now.
Okay, that's 100% not robot.
Oh my
It's not.
It
No.
isn't? It sounded like him when I first listened to it.
It's 100% not him. I'm looking at the face. That is not him.
All right. So the next question comes from
Wrong then. I thought
Fraxis. thanking me for hosting the show and asks Phoenix Feather, when is the next episodes of Bulkheads coming out?
When it's done.
When it's done.
Soon, TM.
Let me put it this way.
It is.
Let me put it this way.
Star Citizen
At
in the
least 4 people here have had direct interaction with the episode, and can tell you that it is a very in-depth episode, and it's very complicated, and it's probably our most complicated episode to date.
It is the most complicated piece of CryEngine cinematic work that you will have seen in the Star Citizen, in or outside of official Star Citizen stuff.
It's more
to date.
It's more complex as a video, as a pre-rendered video than anything I've ever seen CIG do.
It could be a Star Marine trailer, essentially.
Even
it almost could.
It's just there's a lot of complicated shit that's going on in that. So that's why it's taking us some time.
Visually, it's done. Sound effects are up on the docket now. I'm hoping to have it out before the beginning of September.
Yeah.
Just waiting on audio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Anyway, next.
Desmarius asks question, and is anyone excited about the Terrapin as well as I was? It's a bit expensive for a starter miner. It's not a miner.
Isn't it kind of like
it's an explorer?
It's an explorer scanner ship that's also...
It has a utility turret that can be used potentially for mining and stuff.
As a bit of expensive starter miner, it's not a starter either. But very doable. Definitely love the perspective of combined sensors. It's an ASP. I look at it like my first thought is it's an elite dangerous ASP is what it is.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
It kind of does look a little like an ASP.
It even has the cockpit's the same. The lines other than the ASP has those like little wings on it. You know, more than
except with more detail and not apparently like massive when it's actually tiny.
Yeah. The same thing, but same concept. But it's the same. Also, it works the same way in terms of gameplay.
Somebody hates Elite Dangerous.
All
Their
right.
scale's weird.
Next question comes from. Okay, we have 5 minutes, and I've got 50 fucking more questions to go.
Come on, Stuart, lay it out.
Can we talk about the Terrapin pricing? No.
No.
It's expensive. Some of us will like it. Some of them are unhappy. Whatever. We actually talked about that earlier, in fact. In reference to Terrapin, I mean Starter Explorer. Thanks. So after we ripped through you, sorry, Desmarius. Quest asks, what percent of the quests do you think we have recorded voices and animations in the demo? I'm guessing it would be rather rare outside of.
We kind of talked about it.
We kind of talked about that. We think that it won't be the majority. It'll be some, and they've even talked about it a little bit themselves.
Theme park, masked voicing, texts.
Mm-hmm. Mostly texts.
Here.
Text and voicing.
Mostly in the text.
Eric McKenna asks, Fiendish and Hasaga, are you guys already building a dream scenarios in your heads and for what you're filming in 2.3 and 3.0?
I need CryEngine for 3.0. That's all I have to say about that.
I have no idea what's coming or what's possible. So
Their assets don't work yet. We don't have a way to do it.
Yep. Takaroshi, what's your thoughts on day-night cycles confirmed in the presentation for 3.0? We've known that for a while, actually. They said
it's not a surprise that's been coming. It'll be awesome to see.
They've said it for
in the sunset.
Yeah, it's cool. It's going to be awesome. I think it's going to.
I'd be interested to see durations.
Yeah, and the subsumption is going to be what's going to make it most interesting. It's like in Skyrim when you go to a planet, you go to a city, and it's like all the shops are closed because it's middle of the night, and you have to wait. You have to rest until the morning to be able to talk to people. That's going to be the kind of thing. You're going to have to come back to that planet later. You know, the ship's closed. You know,
or wait.
Yep, or wait, or just go to the bar.
Rob people.
Go to the Astropub and get drunk while you wait. I'm sorry.
Done.
All right. Apple Maggot, will we make Sandy cry with showering her with love and rejection of toxicity? I have no idea what you. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know.
I'm not touching that subject.
Yeah.
Don't touch that subject. Move on.
Yeah, Brandon Chat. What feature of another game would you like to see implemented in some way in Star Citizen? I like how the mining system works in Take on Mars.
I like how you can cook pork chops in Minecraft.
I like the voxel system in Space Engineers.
What are we talking
Honestly,
about?
I know that was like
Just pull something.
What kind of question is this?
It's a question about like what
Next.
would you like to see in Star Citizen from a game that currently doesn't have from a game that you like. So like another game like No Man's Skies.
A working network code.
There we go.
I would like
from every other game.
farming simulator.
Whoa!
Ooh, Farming Simulator.
Next.
All right, next question. What is your dream Star Citizen streamer body pillow?
Wait,
Shaped like
what?
Ben.
Wait,
One that's shaped like Ben Lesnick and as comfortable as I
what
imagine him
about
to be.
not the one shaped like Gray-Headed Gamer and Crocky's both?
I'd quite like to get one of myself.
Together?
We can be doing this around
Yes.
each side of the pillow, one on each side. Yeah.
But the thing
You
is, I
sleep
don't
right
want-
in the middle.
I don't want Crocky's, I want Brock. So it has to be Brock and Gray-Headed Gamer.
No, you mean Gray-Headed's character, who we aren't gonna spoil, but yeah.
I was gonna give my. Can I give the name?
No,
Your name? Yeah, you can give the name.
Frank.
Frank.
Spoiler
Brock
alert.
and Frank.
Fucking Frank.
See, I would name a girl streamer, but then that would get a bit weird.
I still need my barren body pillow.
Oh,
I mean, you know, barren body pillow's been a thing for a very
I was
long
to say,
time.
I already
and we
have
still
my, I
haven't
already
gotten
have my
one.
barren body pillow. I ain't sure you're talking about.
next.
Next question comes from Southern Jumper. Do you guys seeing what we were shown at Gamescom and gameplay could pin people against each other with other missions? Like pirates will go get a mission for the Starfarer Distress at the same time as another guy's. Kinda. It's saying essentially, will there be missions that will be counter to each other? I think they've.
I would hope
Something's
so.
supposed to do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
They've talked
system's
about
supposed to do that. Yeah.
Is it just me, or there's not as many mainstream news articles about Star Citizen 3.0 at Gamescom besides LOL anti-NMS No Man's Sky articles versus 3.0?
No, I've got 4 up in front of me at the
There's
moment.
a PC Gamer article on 3.0. All right, I mean, like everyone is talking about it. Like, I'm sure Kotaku will be better by the end of
There's
the
a
day.
GameSpot one up now as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just came
it-
up. There's loads.
There was a
There's loads
delay.
of
They had
things.
to wait until
And it's
after
all
the presentation
positive,
to
and
throw
every single
everything
one mentions No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it just happens that they all mention No Man's Sky because it's so fresh. The wound is so fresh for so many people that it's a space game, and the fact that Chris continued to lob broadsides
What-
over the
Yeah, what else do you compare it
multiplayer.
to? What else do you compare it to? You can't
Yeah.
compare it to Wing Commander. Half the population don't know what that is that
Yeah.
read the
Most
these articles,
gamers
so-
today weren't even
Never
alive.
played it. Never
Like,
played it.
And
Wasn't
significant,
really...
like 25-year-old gamers who have never played
Yeah,
Wing Commander.
I was not coherent when Wing Commander came out.
Yeah.
Couldn't hold the controller when Wing Commander came out.
Nice.
I
hashtag,
hadn't played the
nice.
original Wing Commander until
Beautiful
a couple months
box.
ago when I was able to get the Green Man Gaming stuff. Ooh. Ben
That's
Lesnick
nice.
somewhere is crying.
Yeah, I sent you pictures of it.
Did you see the shape of those boxes? They are like in perfect shape.
Yeah, they're perfect
Yeah,
condition.
I know.
Glossy
I
still.
just realized though. I told hashtag that he has a beautiful box, and I went.
Ah,
You have a beautiful box. Yeah.
And that-
here it comes, Paul. Here comes your band.
No. We just want to make you feel beautiful and we love your box. All right, so next question is from BouncerBot MK2. How full of shit are you guys? Half full or half empty?
Half full.
I'm
Half-
about
half full, half
half
full.
way full, not half full.
I'm overflowing.
Shinagra asks, question, how important do you think role-playing will be in Star Citizen, and what toys do you think CIG will give players to do it? Examples being grouping and access to hangars, building upon planets, etc.
That's
They have
all
emotes.
individual, man.
And that's all what you can build.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of
Some people just aren't into role playing. They just want to play the fucking game
Yep.
as themselves. And there's some people that if you break immersion, they're like, "Dude, I'm trying to role play here."
Yeah,
So
Go ahead.
there's
We could rant on
two
this subject.
levels of roleplay, right? There's roleplay, which is like, oh, I'm making up things to enhance this world, and it's all make believe within this thing. And then there's just playing the game as your character in the game,
Yes.
which is what most people do, even without thinking about it. And
Yes.
the key point is that you're doing things that the drivers behind what your character wants to achieve, and you're leaving everything outside the game. So if you're chatting to someone, you're not talking about what was on the football. You're talking about like, oh, hey, this stuff's happening within the game. So I think that's going to happen a lot, and I think they're giving us the tools just by virtue of the game they're making.
The
It's
game is so
going to be
immersive.
glorious for it.
The game is so immersive that you fall into that role play, that
Yes.
second thing what
Yep.
Flint said. Anyways, just because how the game plays is gameplay. It is role play
Yep.
into a degree.
With the role play aspect, that's going to be to do down with your corp. And what you need to remember is that respect other people's right to roleplay. Role players respect other people's right to not roleplay, and everyone will get along.
Just don't walk into the pub going, "Forsooth, barkeep, hand me a mug of grog." Now, if Flint says that, I'm giving him a mug of grog. But if anybody else says that, you know,
I smote you with my laser pistol. You must be dead now.
Yeah.
No.
I will walk into that bar and ask him, you know, if I could get a mission or some mission information for a gold piece.
Yeah. for one gold
Direct me to the nearest fiendish trolls.
But I mean, I intend to interact with like orgs and groups within the game as far as, hey, I want to join your crew for a while or do missions with you, and that's my form of roleplay.
We could have a D&D session in a Star Going traveling.
Must happen.
Oh my god, if they give us dice! Oh, please tell me they give us dice in the game because they've talked about cards.
Dice.
I'll mod it.
I'll mod it in for you.
I'll
mod it in for you.
We need to do bad rolls.
Bad rolls inside Star Citizen? Oh my god.
I can mod that in for you.
That needs to happen for real.
I mean, you can already play games inside of games with like CS or like what's it? It's it's the Gmod. You can already play games with inside Gmod.
Oh yeah.
You just need a tabletop simulator on a hollow table.
Yep.
So I want to do tabletop simulate on a hollow table in a ship in free flight in Arena Commander in Star Citizen.
Boom.
Oh, the depth of meta.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
In a game.
So you're inside your pod playing Arena Commander inside a ship playing on another surface.
On a hollow table.
Too many levels for me. Too deep. Too deep.
And we have VR. It's going to be just insane. Oh my god.
Too deep.
Alrighty. So the next question comes from Zydaku. You think hope that 3.0 will release Q1 of 2017? I think more than likely, my estimate probably be Q1. There's no way that I can think that they'll be able to do this in 4 months. And this is where Captain Flint tells me I'm wrong. And
Squadron 42?
And
I think summer next year.
It's already working. We saw it. Kappa.
No, but
I'm leaning Q1.
For those
summer next year.
For those of you who don't, March.
December.
March. For those of you who don't know,
this year or next year, Gray?
This year.
December 19th for 3.0.
3.0.
Wait, are we talking 3.0 or Squadron 42?
3.0.
Oh, 3.0. I think we'll see that this year. Right before they go.
I'll bet someone a beer.
I will buy you a beer at CitizenCon if it's.
I'll buy you a
beer. I'll buy you a nice beer and send it to you.
I lost at Bar Citizen Orlando.
So I'll tell you one thing. Seeing 3.0 has made me infinitely more confident about the release of Squadron 42 this year than I was before.
Why? Because Squadron 42 and the tech for 3.0 aren't related at all.
They are.
Well, I mean,
look how far along 3.0 look.
The transitions, the planetary stuff, the dialogue systems, the interactions, all those little pieces that are a hell of a lot easier to do in a single-player setting.
Oh, that's okay.
So the fact that they've hit all those things to be able to have those features to go in, and the fact that it's a lot easier to plan the timescales for the single-player campaign because you're not worrying about all the network-based interaction stuff means that their roadmap is probably pretty solid.
And remember that the game has already been mapped out entirely. You can play from the beginning to end of the game right now. There's just a bunch of work in progress shit that's.
Well, there are two things. The two hardest things about Squadron 42 are getting the cinematics right, and getting the AI right.
Yeah,
and the rest of that 1.0 should be out by the end of the year. If it's with this, so.
and even then, you don't need all that much of that for Squadron 42 because it's the only time you need it is when you're wandering the ship. But most of the time, it's going to be scripted events. Hey, character sitting at this station anyway, because it's single player. There's not a lot that needs to happen per mission. You know, the most thing that's going to happen is when you're walking around, the Stanton or wherever you end up after the Stanton, and it's going to be talking to characters. So it's going to be the cinematics, and I'm enrolling all cutscenes where you're talking to a character into cinematics and AI. And after that, it's all getting the flight mechanics right, which is something that's bigger scope than just Squadron 42 anyway.
Yeah, and along with that, so like just the simple of the character walking through the bazaar and having the shopkeepers IK look at you and say things to you as you walk past. These sorts of interactions and having that stuff in place already, knowing that all this stuff is done, which blew us away. I just feel really confident about Squadron 42. And
I agree.
I am more confident about Squadron 42 than I am about because Squadron 42 is simpler in the sense that it doesn't require so many netcode, and I think
the netcode
is going to be the crux of 3.0. If they can't get the next code, because I mean they wanted to release 2.5 2 weeks ago, and there were some serious problems that they've been trying to track down and work. And so that's the kind of thing that'll happen all the time. We're talking about a small addition of some content. There is really not. I mean, there's some back end work, but we're talking
about. If you don't believe, Paul, it's not going to happen. It's all based on. But you got to believe.
You gotta believe.
Believe.
It's fairies and flying. If you stop believing,
I do believe in Star Citizen. I do. I do.
And my wallet says I do.
Oh, God.
Oh, so does mine.
Next. All right, next
Every
question.
time a bell rings, a patch comes out for Star Citizen.
Every time this must be a really, like, all the bells in the world must be broken right now, because that's how long it takes for a patch to come out for Star Citizen.
I'm still saying February 3.0, first 3 missions, Squadron 42, December.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get. We could probably
Not
get the
full parts, missions of Series 1.
I think first one could be released in December. I think the latest we'll see it is March.
I bet you it'll be avocados before the end of the year. I don't think we'll see it for another month or two.
3.0, I definitely will have it for avocados. We'll probably have it open PTU, because that's what they did with 2.0. Is that 2.0 was technically it was either 2.0 or 1.0, where they technically released it to public PTU, but it wasn't actually released yet. And so I think that was 2.0, where it was everyone could play it, but it wasn't in a live build.
Well, we didn't have avocados.
But we didn't have avocados.
No, we didn't back then.
But they wanted to do that so that everyone could try it if they wanted to. So that way they could, even though it was buggy and it wasn't ready for live, they could make it so it was available for people to play.
They're going to have to stress test the servers. Yep.
The avocados were born out of the fact that a lot of people downloaded it and almost none of them actually tried it.
Yeah.
So it was wasting bandwidth. So they went, all right, these active ones, we're going to let them do it, because they slammed the servers harder than the whole giant group. And when we restrict it and give it out to another group, a bigger pile comes on. So
all right, so I'm gonna highlight these rest of these questions. Pretty important. The important questions of this, but a lot of this stuff is stuff that we've kind of already talked about, or stuff that that's been asked before.
If it was a question related to me, the answer is no.
The question was, what's your dream modification for Star Citizen? And we already talked about that. So,
nude mod.
Nude mod. Lots of nude mods. Yes. Better bodies mod. Better bodies mod for Star Citizen.
My dog in the game.
Third nipple mod.
The first major thing is like, when do we think Squadron 42 is going to come out? And I think we
talked about that.
We already talked about that. The other one is, when do you think the Evocati will get 2.6?
2.6?
2 months.
First off, it's a when question.
2 weeks.
Couple of weeks. Yeah, a couple of weeks makes sense.
Yeah. It's also, we're also
shame for when.
Yeah, it's a when question, so
when
we don't
ready.
know.
Sometime between now and next
the heat death of the
millennia.
Universe. Yeah,
beginning of October.
But in reality, more than likely, if they get 2.5 out next week, which sounds like it's pretty solid case, then and since it's not really in any kind of major update other than balance passes and stuff that's already in the game,
fixing the friggin' physics grid.
Yeah. Then we'll probably see it sooner than later. We'll probably see it before September for the Evocati. And definitely out, because I'm sure they're going to try to shoot it for right before CitizenCon.
Yep.
And the other question was, why are you not grateful of amazing questions? Because there's so many of them. And the last one, do you think the main server will be in place, and U.S. People from EU will have the delayed to date transfer to be essential killer of a matter of kill or live? So the question is, do you think the main server will be headquartered in the U.S.? And the answer is, it doesn't work like that. It's
cloud. No main server. It's a cloud.
Yeah.
It's a magical pixie dust.
Is the server around me now?
Yes.
Thing.
We're breathing the cloud.
I live in a
flows
server.
through
I don't know
us.
what you're talking about.
It flows
Unicorn
through us.
horn
This is why there's lag. It's in your
the server.
I am the server.
Yeah.
your colon right now. Every time you fart, another packet goes out.
No, but seriously,
I am full of
it's
packets.
for those of you guys who don't know how cloud-based servers work, it's essentially lots of little servers all over the place, which are being run at simultaneously, so that they can kind of deal with lag and deal with so you don't have a latency issue, because it's evenly distributed as much in theory.
And also, it's largely mostly the way that it benefits you as a consumer is you have consumer internet, which could be anything from a 5600 baud modem up to gigabit internet like I have, and it's amazing. It's that slow, it's that unreliability and potential slowness of that connection, and the ping or the latency of that connection that causes you potential issues if you're connecting, say, from Australia to an American server. Whereas the communication between the actual cloud servers is all like corporate high bandwidth, high reliability, super high throughput networking. So if with cloud, with there being lots of small servers, they can have those localized around the world so that you're connecting to a local server in Oceania or in Europe. And then that server, using its high bandwidth communications, connect back to the rest of the cluster at high speed. So it pushes the edge of the server boundary out to right next to you so that your connection has less impact over the overall latency of your communication with the server.
You just went over the heads of half the people watching.
I'm sorry.
He just.
Clint, I missed that. Could you repeat that for me, please?
I'm going to do a TLDR. It essentially makes it so that it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Explain it like you would explain it to Flint the dwarf, not as Flint the developer.
Hey,
It's
the main
Magic
moderator
Cloud.
is Stephen Hawkins. On the
Good speed.
We just plug it into him and it works.
Alrighty, so I think that's it. I'm sorry if I didn't cover your guys' questions. We had a lot more interest in questions than I thought we were going to have.
A lot of viewers too.
Yeah, a lot of viewers, guys. Thank you all for showing up here. If you guys did enjoy this, please let me drop the pod follow. Please go follow all of these people. They did take their time and had to deal with me and each other here.
especially each other.
It's exhausting.
Each other.
So do go follow all of these people. Check out Bulkheads. Check out Board Gamers videos. Check out Greyhead Gamers. Very old but very cool. Star Citizen Island videos. Do you still do those Star Citizen Island videos?
Negative, I don't do them anymore, but the old ones are still there, and they're still. People tell me they're still interesting. So whatever.
You should. I can help you out with that.
I'm just, I've moved forward.
Then, of course, check all these streams and other content you guys can see out there. So again,
Mr.
thank you guys.
Hashtags wallpapers are the best.
Yeah.
Yes,
just
they
amazing.
are.
I am looking forward to 3.0 and seeing what Haas's wallpapers are, because you also put them on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of those on Twitter, and he's won MVP for his backgrounds before as well. So
It's all about the angles and lighting. He's fucking.
he's fucking.
It's
right
you
there.
can't scream. He does it in a way that's fucking ridiculous.
In game
He's a photographer.
Yeah.
It's a photographer's eye.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like I say every night, I hope to see you guys again soon. But if I don't, I hope to see you someday in the black. Have a good night, guys.
Shouldn't we talk about the Banu Merchantman reveal? Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, yep.